know what this world is coming to.
Hey yo, check this out. This is Flavor Flav, and if you want the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth, so help the whole truth. Hey yo, you better listen to Dante, baby. Dante!
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another great edition of the Dante's Boxing Nation Show. I am your host, Dante, and we have another terrific show for you guys, as always. It's a star-studded room tonight. We got some stars in the room. We got some stars on the phone. But let me go ahead and first introduce the panel, as we always do at this time. I got my man, Kirk Jackson from BoxingInsider.com. He's a writer and a contributor over there. Go ahead and check out his articles. I also got my man in the studio, my man Milton Arline. What's going on, Milt?
What's good, Dante?
All right. And let me go ahead and introduce ACAP, A-Rap King, AK, and in the studio with me, this man right here, he'll be fighting on that Wilder undercard. He won't be fighting on the undercard. You're going to be in the main event on a split
telecast.
Split telecast is what I should say. My man Caleb Plant is in the building and on the phone. Let me go and introduce the man, the former junior welterweight, and I say the real junior middleweight champion, my man Demetrius Andrade. What's going on, Demetrius Andrade?
Yo, 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 yo.
That's what it is. That's what it is. It's going down, man. Now first things first, Caleb and Demetrius, you guys know each other pretty well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Before I turned pro, I got to, be in a couple camps with Demetrius and get some, some grade A sparring, and kind of took me under his wing a little bit and showed me a lot of things, and just helped me out, and it was real cool. We became real close, and he's doing his thing, I'm doing mine.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Now, Demetrius, man, let me just start with you real quick, man. Let everybody know what you got lined up. You're fighting against Coquet. Now, I done heard that Coquet was like your hardest fight in the amateurs. Is this true, man?
Never that.
I'm messing with you, man. I'm messing with you. I know your dad. I had to throw it in there because your dad, he told me that it was super easy work, man. So yeah, I had to throw that in there. So what do you expect, man? What do you expect? You expect him? You think he's gotten better? What do you think?
I mean, I expect to go in there and fight somebody that is working extremely hard, somebody that bringing their A game, and preparing to try to beat Demetrius Andrade. That's what I'm getting ready for. And so, we're going to work like this is, a multi-million-dollar fight, and he's in our way for us to get to that. So, I don't sleep on anybody. I do what I got to do. I want to look great in all my performances. Every time I step into that ring, I want to display everything that I can, when I can, how I can, and all I want the fans to be like, that boy right there. It's that man.
That's what it is. We gonna go back and forth, Demetrius, so you could jump in whenever you want. Now, Caleb, man, You're gonna be headlining in the main event. Tell everybody about your opponent and the fact that you're fighting in the main event. Let everybody know who you're facing. What do you know about him?
Thomas Amwimbono. Lined up, he's like 26-5, 21 knockouts. And, tough dude, been around a lot. Fought some people like Martin Murray and a couple other, pretty decent names, good names. So there's going to be a good step up. And it's at a perfect point in my career, We've been trying to get people lined up, prospects and, or vets with good records and stuff. And it's been hard to get them to, put their name on the line. So we finally got somebody. So we're going to do what we always do. We're going to put a show on and get our hand raised.
So you're saying that you didn't actually have opponents turning you guys down, basically?
Man.
It's been a couple. Wow. See, that's news right there.
Yeah.
They don't want them sweet hands, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we tried to get, Emmanuel Aleem to fight. He didn't want to fight. He said, 4 or 5 fights from now or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, is that
Tried
right?
to get Dominique Wade to fight. He don't want to fight. So I go, I've been training at the Mayweather gym. You've been in there a couple times with me. And, Ronald Graville done won some little, Intercontinental belt or something like that. And since my fight with Dominique Wade didn't fall through, I wanted to, fight for something.
Yeah.
And so I figured if I done had some trouble getting some, matchups and stuff, I figured if I went in there and talk to him in front of his people, right there in front of everybody, kind of back him into a corner, then he would fight. But he said no right there in front of his people. So, it was on to the next.
They going to have to see you eventually, though. You keep winning, though, right?
Exactly. So, I'm not sweating it too much. I just, fight the people they put in front of me, take it one fight at a time and move on to the next.
Okay. And you got anything on that right there, Milt?
Well, I know that in your previous fight, that the one you just had, he was a pretty heavy puncher, and he came in with a string of knockout records too. And this is kind of something similar to what's coming up right now. I mean, there's a lot of heavy hitters that are coming at you. I mean, what do you think is in your style that makes that type of fighter tailor-made for Caleb Plant?
I mean, when you get shut out every round and landing like 12-14% of your punches, it don't matter too much how hard you hit. Skills pay the bills. And that's one thing I got is skills, It's one thing I'm always working on, trying to get better at.
Most definitely.
There's stuff we can all get better at, but I focus on that. I don't just know it and not do it. I know it and I do it.
I've seen that defense too, and that seems like something that you've really been working on as of late. Are you keeping that in the forefront of your mind when you're going in there?
I mean, that's something I've had since the beginning of my career was defense. I've always been slick. Me and Demetrius.
Slick as okra.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I got
me and Boo Boo, we've had some good sparring sessions. I'll tell you.
That's what I wanted y'all to talk about.
I've been slick, for a while now, but in the beginning of my career, I was running them into big shots early, so I was a heavy hand dude who didn't know how to box and maybe didn't have good condition, and then I start boxing people up and going the distance, and then they say I ain't got no power. So I just adjust as needed. I'm not going to keep my defense at the forefront. I'm going to keep what's needed at the forefront. If I need to walk people down, cut the ring off, then that's what will be at the forefront.
Beautiful.
If I need to stick and move and box, then that'll be at the forefront.
Gotcha.
Whatever, I'll make adjustments as needed.
So you're just adding all these tools to the tool belt
Yeah, I don't want to be defined as just one particular type of boxer. I want to be defined as someone who makes adjustments as needed to get the job done.
Just one more question before I let someone else take a piece at you. I like to get into the personal aspects of it, and I know you were saying that you started out that way. What started you out in boxing? Somebody from Tennessee,
and how did you get the Sweet Hands nickname?
How did you get that name, Sweet Hands? Where did that come in at?
My pop started me out, and we started kickboxing, and traveled a lot, and I had like 5 world titles and 9 national titles.
In kickboxing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's something I did not know.
I fought in Italy and Trinidad and a bunch of times on, Team USA and stuff. And after a while, there just wasn't too much more to do. And, as a pro, you don't really make no money or have any recognition or anything. So we was boxing at the same time, though, like since I started. One weekend I'd be boxing, one weekend I'd be kickboxing, just fighting back to back nonstop. And it kept me busy, and more importantly, probably kept me out of trouble. So after a while, though, I always leaned more on boxing. I always liked boxing more, and I was always a better boxer when it came to kickboxing. And after a while, I was just like, man, I just want to stick to boxing. That's all I like.
Gotcha.
And now here we are.
Gotcha.
And we're going to get back, because I want you to, I remember you told me how you got the name Sweet Hands, but I want to jump to Demetrius real quick. And, hey, Demetrius, I want to ask you, man, the fact that you were the original WBO champion, and when you were the WBO champion, Canelo, he didn't want to fight you. And a lot of fans were saying, oh, the belts are not that important. Soon as you vacated, or as soon as they took the belt from you, all of a sudden the WBO belt, it became relevant and important for Canelo to fight for. I mean, why do you think Canelo did that? Rhetorical question, by the way.
Man, he don't want to get in there with a black man. You know what I'm saying? That know how to fight.
Man,
no
beating around the bush.
He about to blow up Dante's Boxing Nation.
He didn't even. He didn't even set that one up.
I know.
That's what we need. We need headlines, man.
Yeah, that was a lead left hook right to the chin.
So I mean, Demetrius, since you said it, and I'm not trying to instigate, man, but you called Canelo a bitch. And that was like a year ago. He never responded back to that. I mean, did that surprise you? He never even – have you even ran into him or had any, type of conversations with him at all or what?
Nah, I haven't ran into him yet. I just I just do me, man. Like the whole, me, running up on people, man. That's not my character, But at times it's needed. But I'm gonna run into him sooner or later, man. And let him know, like, you want to fight a man Khan, you want to fight the Cottos, you want to, run your mouth and say you're the best, but you don't want to go up to 160 and fight Triple G, and you don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade at 154. I mean, I don't understand, how he claimed to be one of the best or, the next superstar when he's not fighting the challenges that can make him become that person, and people are saying that he is on that other side of the pond if you're, that culture, should I say.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And my man Coach in the comment section, and we're going to take a call, guys. I appreciate all you guys on hold. We got a lot of people on hold right now. If you guys want to ask the champs in the building some questions, we're going to open the phone lines in a minute. But my man Coach in the comment section, he wanted to ask you, Demetrius, are you planning on moving up to 160?
That's a good question. It's real tough for me to get these fights at 154 because, a lot of them are on the Showtime under the Al Heyman, and it's tough to actually get some fights over there because there's nobody over there. I'm not with them, and the HBO side. I gotta see what's going on over there. And there's not as many variety of fighters there, but there's good quality over there from Canelo, the Triple G, the David Lemieux, and them guys. You know what I'm saying? That's 60 pounds. So that's definitely an interest that I might have to make. Sooner or later. All depends how this year goes for me. But there's no rush. I'm still young, and I'm gonna make that mark, that step up. When the time's right.
Okay, that's what it is. Hey, let's go ahead and open the phone lines. I'm going to call you guys out by your area codes, okay? All right, so we have 951. What's going on, 951?
Hello. What's up, man? How you doing?
All right, man.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from California.
All right. Long Beach?
No, not Long Beach.
Okay. That's where I'm from, man. Okay. Go ahead, man. What's on your mind, man?
I got a question for Demetrius Andrade about the Charlo brothers.
Okay.
What's going on?
I seen the press. I seen that you compared the Charlo brothers on the press conference and everything. Did you get any word back from them about the fight, or was that just to get your name back out there again and let them know that you here?
No, stepping into the ring the only way to get my name out. But you know what they said, man. They were like, yo, man, I ain't no matchmaker, bro. So, you already know where that stands at, man. At the end of the day, you don't have to be a matchmaker to say who you want to fight, when you want to fight, and where.
Exactly.
So,
right.
You can, after the fight, I don't know, man. Them boys, they kind of suspect me right now, man, with the whole clean and dirty thing right now because of the way how he acted and nobody could have calmed him down. But how you going to sit there and say, I want to fight Cinnamon, and that's gay, calling another man Cinnamon?
Yeah. I ain't calling no man delicious. I ain't going to call no man delicious. Oh, man.
Yo, that reference is supposed to Canelo, but as soon as I asked for the head up, boys like, I'm not no matchmaker.
But he did call out Floyd Mayweather. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was talking to my friend about the whole Golovkin and Canelo situation, and I was wondering, is this a business move for Canelo to fight Julio Cesar Chavez, or do you think that Canelo just trying to fight Triple G on his own terms when he's ready?
I definitely feel like everybody wants to fight when they're ready, but I believe Canelo does not want to fight Triple G. I honestly think he does not want to go that route. I don't know if it makes sense for a Golden Boy at this time as well. And yeah, I think that's not a good fight for him at this time.
Okay.
So what about you, gentlemen? Do you all think that there's a real possibility of Chavez Jr. stop or beating Canelo? What you think, Caleb?
No, I don't. I don't really see Chavez Jr. beating Canelo, anyway, across the charts, Canelo, he's tough.
Even
he's
with that
slick.
weight difference?
Even with the weight difference. At the end of the day, skills pay the bills. Now, on another note, like Boo Boo said, I've seen the interviews and stuff with Boo Boo and the Charlo brothers. They're loud and they exercise their right and their freedom or whatever you want to call it to say, oh, I want to fight this guy. I want to, they're loud, But when it comes to fighting Boo Boo, oh, I ain't no matchmaker. No, you can say who you want to fight. I say who I want to fight all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I fight my pops right here.
And his pops is in the studio.
Be no matchmaker for that.
Hey, what Jay-Z say? Loud as a motorbike, but wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit
Exactly,
fight.
that's what I'm saying. So, they're not gonna, and Canelo either. They're not gonna lash back at Demetrius because Demetrius is a hornet's nest, and if it's one thing you don't do, you don't go up. When a hornet's mad, you don't go up and kick that hornet's nest, you know what I'm saying? Because now you really started some shit. So, and that's what Boo Boo is, So, unfortunately, he's just going to hear crickets, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to get a whole lot of feedback back, or they're not really going to feed into Boo Boo. I feel like, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't really feel like they're going to feed in too much to what Boo Boo's saying. Because if they do, then now they're on the spot, and now they have to back it up. They just going to say, I don't really know who this guy is, or I'm not a matchmaker, or I don't speak good English, or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just not really going to feed into what he's saying, because if they do, now they're between a rock and a hard place and going to catch an ass whooping, So they just going to – it's almost like they're going to try to sweep Boo Boo under the rug.
And that was my next question. You're right, because that's what it seems almost like they're trying to do is sweep him under the rug. I mean, Demetrius, do you feel that way? What Caleb just said, that people are trying to make you as irrelevant as possible, because they see you as so much of a threat, or what?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And the fact that I said that I'm not with that camp. I'm not with that team. I'm not on that side. I'm not signed with anybody over there. So I'm not going to be able to get those type of fights because it's not a win-win situation. It's going to be a lose situation.
Yeah.
So, and you already know if they had faith in their fighters or whoever it is at the 154 division, they wouldn't have no problem putting them up with me. But that's not the case, and right now, like I said, I have to look over on the other side and see what we're capable to do over there, and how we can progress to try to, have a path where the clash of Canelo and Demetrius, or the clash of Demetrius and Triple G, when that time does come. But there definitely has to be a lot more development in me for the networks as well, so we can make the fights that the people want to see. At the end of the day, like you said, they keep sweeping me under the rug, but real boxing fans and people that have seen me fight, they always, get me up out of there. They're
those
like,
no.
Hold up now.
Mm-hmm.
I got an interesting question for.
How is there nobody else to fight?
Mr. Boo Boo, I got an interesting question since I got you and both Mr. Caleb here. Triple G's right in the middle. We've had these arguments quite a few times on here. There are a lot of people who think that you take that fight, Mr. Andrade, and him being in between you two. Which one of you all want him first? Would you consider that fight? Would you consider? And this doesn't have to be like right away, because I know you would have to move, and the weights are different, and there would have to be some negotiations, and I don't want you all, but is that a fight that you all think that you would take eventually at some point? You would like to see?
Most definitely.
No hesitation.
Who?
On your part, you said most definitely.
Who?
No hesitation.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned with who's put in front of me. I'm confident in me and confident in my team and the adjustments we can make. So at the end of the day, right now I'm a really high risk, low reward guy. I'm 14-0. I only got 14 fights. I don't have the leverage on paper to bring a fight like that to the table.
I got you.
That's going to take time. I understand the business side of boxing, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day...
Yo, tell me your name ain't Dominic Wade, man.
Exactly. Boo Boo knows what it is. He knows what I'm talking about.
And speaking...
His name ain't Charles Brook either, man.
Caleb, what did you tell me when I asked you a while ago? I was interviewing you at the Mayweather gym, and I said, out of everybody you ever fought and sparred with, who did you learn the most from, or who did you feel was the most complete fighter? What did you say? And you spar, and he doesn't spar with everybody, guys. So go ahead.
I mean, I don't like him that much. His name Demetrius Andrade. No, Boo Boo definitely. Just like there's just so many different looks. He can do it all. He can box. He can bang. He can. He can do it all. He can walk you down. He can get on his toes. He keeps you at the end of his punches, or he can stand in the pocket. And it's just a knowledgeable dude, man. And at the end of the day, he's not scared to fight nobody. You can see it. You see it all over social media or in the blogs or whatever. He wants to fight. Mm-hmm. He's not worried about fighting nobody. And at the end of the day, that's a true champion's mentality. You know what I'm saying? That's me. I ain't scared of nobody. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I'll fight anybody.
And we need more.
That's Demetrius, and
man,
that's I sparred a lot of dudes, but at the end of the day, like, I ain't just saying this because I'm biased or, whatever it may be. Demetrius Andrade, the most polished guy I ever got in the ring with.
Wow.
That's what it is, man. AK, Kirk, you guys got anything on this before we take another call?
Yeah, I just want to ask Andrade. I got a couple questions for Andrade. The first one, you're fighting in March. Are you fighting for the WBA World Super Welterweight title?
Nah. I believe Laura has that, and so that's something that this belt is going to put me in line for. So this is like the second one to the first one. So it's like a WBC silver. It's like it used to be called the international. Now it's called the regular champ. I don't know, man. I'm just going out there, handling my business, put something under my name, grab another, title, the 2-time world champion, and then I can go and, make demands and fight these guys like Laura because he has the same organization belt as me after March 11th. So, I mean, it's all about trying to gain a little bit more leverage.
Yeah, and you also, like, the number one mandatory for almost all the titles at 154 because you're the WBO number one mandatory, the IBF number one mandatory. Am I correct on that part?
Yeah, definitely. Number one for a lot of them, and this whole thing about the whole WBC thing at first, about the whole tournament thing. I was supposed to fight Willie Nelson. I did that, and then I was supposed to fight the winner of, whoever won the belt out of the one of the kids versus one of the brothers, and now I had to wait until now the brother, one of the twin sisters, is fighting.
Oh man!
Wow.
The twin sisters.
Yeah.
I can't wait that long, man. I can't be waiting that long. Sitting on the shelf, wondering what's going on that route, and then we got the WBO now. Canelo, he has that belt, so now we don't know which way he's going. So it's like they putting me. They kind of, and like they said, they're trying to keep me from actually getting to where I need to get to. It's like, okay, Canelo, he don't know what he wants to do if he's going to go up to 150 or 154. Whichever way he does, he's not going to give up that belt or fight anybody until the last minute. So I'm not going to be waiting another 8 months, 9 months, a year to be, here being inactive again. And that, that was my problem, I think, moving forward was I wasn't trying to fight unless I was training to fight somebody with my time in the gym, my focus, my body, like all that stuff comes in play when you get a certain point of a certain level, man. When you get that caliber, that certain level of fighting, the caliber of fighters, you don't be wanting to fight. You don't want to fight. You always want to. And you don't want that. What am I getting ready to fight? You always want for? For what?
Yeah. That's almost going backwards.
Yeah. So speaking of that, a lot of fighters at 154 is ducking you, and it's hard for you to get fights. Apparently, in the past 2 or 3 years, you didn't fight that many times. You should have fought a lot more. But because a lot of fighters ducking you, that's why you can't get the fight. So similar thing happened to Gamboa when he was at 130 pounds. He had to move up to 135 to get the bigger fight, and then he ended up fighting Crawford. But kind of like after a layoff, you know what I mean? So how do you avoid that happening to you, moving up in weight and, fighting a big fight right away without tune-ups? Are you just going to fight whoever your way till the big fight presents themselves, or are you just going to fight the big fight?
I mean, for right now, I have to go back to that route where I have to fight whoever, however, you know. But the thing about moving up to 160, you know, is that's not where, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying. That's not you only. It's not that crazy, man. It's not a big division. It's not, you know, where the entertainment is right now. There's only one guy at 160, and that's only Triple G. Cool. You know, I feel like Triple G hasn't fought the best out there either. He hasn't done that in my eyes. But I think the divisions right now, in my eyes, are, you know, you got the 135s, you got the 40s, 47s, 54, and I think the 68s is hot right now too. You know, you got the new upcoming Marcus Brown, Caleb Plant. You got, you know, some guy 68. Like, I think the 160 is kind of is on the low end right now. So
it's just Golovkin, right?
Right.
I could go out there and try to, you know, make noise, but I think where I'm at is where the attention is right now for me. And unless once everybody goes from the 54 and starts moving up to the 60, then okay, and then 47 stop coming up to 54s. So now it's a chain reaction, and now we can still make them fights happen. But I think for me to go up to 160 right now to fight whoever, I don't think for me it's the best move to make.
And I agree with you.
Yeah, 154 is the hot division for sure right now.
Oh.
So out of these three fights, Lara, Charlo, and Triple G, who you think is the toughest fight? Not the biggest money fight, but who you think is going to be the toughest fight in the three fights?
I mean, all I can say is we will know when we get inside the ring, but I think the next available fight that I can get will be against Lara.
Against Lara? So you think it's a good chance you could get that fight next?
Yeah, I think I think he will take the challenge once I, beat cocaine. I'm not looking past cocaine, man, but at the end of the day, my confidence on 100, I train my ass up, I work hard, nobody can beat me, however. But I will definitely do that and then call out Lara, let's do it, let's make it happen. What are we waiting for now?
Absolutely. And with that being said, let's go ahead and just take another phone call if we can over here. Let me see right here. All right, we have 773 on the phone. What's going on, man?
Hello, Dante Boxing Nation. Can y'all hear me?
I hear you,
loud
man.
and clear. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, man? I got really two questions for both of you boxers. Demetrius Andrade, man. I hope you get on your Shannon Briggs shit the way these dudes ducking you, bro. But my question to you is, like, how do you approach the situation with the racism and the bogus judges in the fight? Like, what keep y'all focused when y'all entering these fights, knowing that it's a possibility that you could get robbed?
At the end of the day, man, it's a 50-50 fight, first and foremost. Anybody can win at any given time. One punch just changes the fight. But when you step in, for me, when I step into the ring, man, I want to be the best character I can be for the judges. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make sure, like, in the beginning of it, the negotiations, the judges approved, and we as the fighters have the approval to say yes or no to the judge, and so we can do our research on them and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a lot of that goes on, and at the end of the day, as a fighter and a fighter spirit, we go like this, man. We will put it in our hands, and sometimes it goes that way, and sometimes it doesn't, man. But it's just something that you can't. It's hard for us to try to beat. We can go in there and work on what we've been working on and try to win the fight by a knockout if we can.
That's what
man.
It is.
And my last question is, like, who you got in the Triple G and Danny Jacobs fight? Who y'all got in that? You and Plant.
Let's Caleb start with that one right there.
Yeah, go ahead, Caleb.
I'll let Demetrius answer that. I don't really, like I told you, you asked me at the
Sean Porter,
gym, and
Sean Porter and Kenny Porter did the same thing. I asked Kenny, I said, what you think about that fight? He handed the mic over to Sean when it came to that. Same.
It's not
same
even that.
fight.
It's just like, I don't really care, They're not me. It's not, my dog ain't in the fight, so I'm not really concerned. And the only thing I need to do right now is just focus on winning the 25th. And once I get, like I said, I'm a high risk, low reward guy right now, being 14-0. So what I need to focus on is myself, you know what I'm saying, and not being everybody else's business.
Right.
And just focus on getting
Can I
that.
ask one more question, Dante?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Hey man, who y'all growing up, who was y'all? I don't like y'all got some awkward styles, man. Who was y'all watching when y'all was coming up? Especially you, man. Like y'all style to me is awkward. Y'all can fight on the inside and outside. So who was some of the guys that y'all watched when y'all was coming up?
Go ahead, Boo Boo.
Go ahead, Caleb.
What did he say?
He said, "Go ahead, Caleb."
All right. I mean, I watched a lot of different guys like Terry Norris, Meldrick Taylor. I like Hector Camacho.
Okay. You watched some boxing then?
A little bit.
A little bit.
James Toney. I really like James Toney.
Okay.
You know, then you got people like Andre Ward and Floyd and stuff like that. I like Roy Jones. You know. So yeah, but a lot of the older guys like, you know, like I said, like Terry Norris and Meldrick Taylor.
Thank y'all, for having me on your show.
Hey, no doubt, man. Take care. All right.
All right, later.
Yeah.
And you, Boo Boo. Same question.
I mean, for me, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin, Tommy Hurd, Jones, Sweet Pea.
Did he say Sweet Hands?
Sweet Pea.
Yeah,
he says Sweet Hands.
Prince Nassim, that's my guy.
And now I definitely keep a good eye on my boy Sweet Hands over there, man.
There it
is.
Saying
All
like, yo, I know, we have a margin through age and experience and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm been boxing a long period of time, so it's kind of like whatever. But please believe that boy over there on the other line is going to be a problem.
Gonna be a problem, huh? That's what it is.
Definitely going to be a problem, man. And the tension's going to be on him if he keeps up doing what he's doing, man. Every time he steps into the ring, fans and people listen, he always looks better every single time. Like,
most definitely. I noticed that.
I've noticed that. If I fight this kid, I'm going to hit him with this. Next time you see him, you're not going to be able to hit him with that style, man. He keeps progressing, and I mean, I just love what I see from the boy, man.
I really have.
That's love.
Going to be a problem, man. Like you said, right now he's, a high risk, but he's still able to make the fight because a lot of people going to want to try to get to him early, and that's when he's going to show out.
It's bubbling. I feel it bubbling for you, though. I really do. I see. I know the buzz is out there. I'm hearing it. I'm seeing it on all of the sites that I visit. But one question I have for you, Caleb.
And he can dance, too. And he can dance.
What? Man, we live right now, bro. We live right now, bro.
Hey, man, white man can't
Oh, man.
Hey,
man, y'all had freedom.
Put me on blast on that one.
Speaking of that, Caleb, tell them why they call you Sweet Hands, man. Tell them that story you told me.
Just growing up, like, I don't know, I guess it's more rare or uncommon to see a white boy who's like super slick. So like at the Golden Glove regional stuff, they'd be like, "Man, you got some sweet hands for a white boy. Man, you sweet, you got some sweet." And then it just kind of stuck, and they started calling me Sweet Hands. So,
okay. So you saying they calling you the Eminem of boxing? Is that what you said?
I don't know, man.
Hey, but
I have a question for Caleb and Demetrius. In regards to all-time great fighters, Caleb, who would you like to fight if you can choose one fighter from history?
Interesting question.
Caught me on the spot on that one.
Yeah.
Shoot. Just like any weight division.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah, any weight division. Like any weight division, any fantasy fighter that you would love to fight all time.
I mean, to share the ring with Ali, that'd probably be something special,
Wow.
So
that's deep.
That is deep.
Something you take with you.
Most definitely.
Hey, but real quick, I got to go back to Demetrius. I want to get your prediction, and regardless if you're going to answer it or not, Caleb, I'm still going to ask you. We have some breaking news that broke today, which is it's official. Kell Brook, he's going to face Errol Spence in the UK May 20th. Huge fight. How does that fight play out? Who wins the fight and why, Demetrius? D, you there?
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to really. It's really hard to talk about that fight because we can't say that Errol Spence has fought the best yet, or
No doubt.
You know, we can't really say how big this fight's going to be. The reason why it's big is because Kell Brook might have fought GGG. You know what I'm saying? Or Kell Brook, to my eyes, the only thing I know is him fighting Sean Porter. So I don't really know how big you're trying to make this fight, but I don't know, man. Honestly, I think Kell Brook definitely has the speed, the power to get in and out, and we've seen how relaxed he can be when he had the pressure on him versus
Porter
in Triple G. We've seen how he was handling it, and he was finding out the will and the way to make adjustments. We haven't seen that with Errol Spence yet. We haven't seen him get hit. We haven't seen him, in the trenches where he got to fight down or figure something out. So, that's a big character in the sport of boxing where, we got to kind of see that early. If you don't see that early on with that fighter, he ends up losing the fight. You know what I'm saying?
So you can't slightly lean towards anybody, though? You can't slightly lean towards anyone?
Wait, say it one more time?
You can't slightly lean towards anyone. Because I'm about to go to the casino after this. I need to know who I can place my bet on, Demetrius. So help me out now.
If I had a pick to experience, it would be Kell Brook.
Oh, interesting. Boy.
Interesting.
Now, see, I'm going to have to make a separate video on that clip right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you picking Kell Brook. Okay. Interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just what I know of Kell Brook so far and what I don't know of Spence. Not saying he's not a great fighter. He won't be a great fighter. But we haven't seen him, you know what I'm saying, to really, But I think he got what it takes too, though, man. I mean, I don't know, man. He definitely looked like he put on some power in the last two fights. I mean, I don't know what they doing over there, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. And we gonna go ahead and pass it to Caleb, man. What do you think, man? Errol Spence versus Kell Brook, man.
I mean, I think Demetrius said, he's not knocking Errol. He's just seeing more from Kell,
It's a 50-50 fight. Nothing wrong with that.
Kell's showing that he's fearless, and that's something that you're gonna have to be against Errol. You can't be in there scared with Errol. He's gonna get a whiff of that and keep walking you down, and eventually he's gonna break your spirit. So I think it's a good fight. I think it's a tough fight, but I don't know.
Yeah, come on, man. You know.
have to ask somebody else.
You know.
If you gonna place bets.
Boy, you and Demetrius being tough right now, man.
I know.
Y'all being tough right now. Okay, that's pretty much what that is.
This is how I see it. I've seen, I've watched a lot of video on both of them, and what I can say is, when you see a special talent, I see it in you. I haven't seen you really anybody lay a good shot on you, or either. I just know the goods when I see it. I see it with Boo Andrade. I see it with. I saw it with a young Floyd Mayweather against Gennaro.
Yeah.
It's like when you see the genuine article,
special talent,
special talent, you know what it is. And as good as Kell Brook is, and I like Kell Brook, I think he's a good fighter. I just haven't seen him. Really, the only time I've really seen him tested is 2 times, and that was against Sean Porter, which he hugged the hell out of Sean Porter. He was hugging him all night, man. I think he held on a little bit too long. I thought he was trying to kiss the man. and then in the Triple G fight, and I think that was a duck move in order to try to get away from necessarily trying to hold on to the strap a little bit longer, not taking his mandatory at the time. I think it was
Jesse Vargas.
It was Jesse.
He was supposed to fight Jesse Vargas.
Yeah, and if you didn't want to fight Jesse Vargas, I think he took it was a money grab. He made more money. He got a chance to avoid his mandatory. If he lost, it was a win-win because he lost against a 160-pounder. And I just don't see that. I haven't seen that body of work. Kell Brook beat a guy who was like, He beat this one guy from England. I think the guy is something. He has like
Gavin. Was it Gavin something?
Some got a million
Kevin
losses.
Beiser and Gavin something. Yeah.
His resume is not.
It's
not that deep.
But not only that, but Errol Spence just looks a lot more of a complete fighter. I mean, if you compare what Keith Thurman did with Bundu to what Errol Spence did to Bundu, you compare what Pacquiao did to Algieri, compared to what Errol Spence did to Algieri. And we know styles make fights.
Right.
But the fact that he was able to adjust, he didn't let Algieri off the hook like Manny Pacquiao did.
Right.
Manny Pacquiao knocked him down 6 times. How do you knock someone down 6 times? Now, Caleb, I know if you knock somebody down 6 times, it's not going to decision. I know
they
that.
didn't stop. They're going to sleep.
See,
But, you
they're going
know,
to sleep.
I think Errol, he's got a lot of momentum right now, a lot of confidence. You know, he's really rolling. And, you know, kind of like y'all said, coming off the Triple G fight, that'll slow you up a little bit. So,
Yeah, and I think
it'll be a good fight.
Matter of fact, I think Brook still has maybe about 2 weeks before his medical release is up, because I think he got a medical extension in order to. You know,
Yeah, he did. He did. But it's going. But you know, just to give you guys what our picks are, you know, I believe Errol Spence, he knocks out Kell Brook. What's your pick, Milt?
I think I'm going with a 7th round TKO.
Oh, you picking Kell Brook too, right?
No, whatever, man.
Okay, we Kirk Jackson, man. Who you picking?
I'm picking Errol Spence. I think he's going to go to the body and break down Kell Brook, and we don't know what he's going to look like after the Golovkin fight. I mean, Golovkin, didn't he break his orbital bone?
Yeah,
and I mean, we're yet to see the long-lasting effects. And then me and Arab King were discussing this earlier. You know, the getting down to 147. You know how difficult is that for Kell Brook?
I thought about that too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But he's scared of Demetrius Andrade at 154, so he got it.
Yeah.
So he's stuck like Chuck.
I would have took that.
He said he would have took it.
No doubt.
Demetrius said I would have took it.
No doubt.
Yeah,
The
man.
thing is, though, he wouldn't have, though, bro. He's not gonna fight you.
Yeah.
No, Triple G, then Demetrius Andrade, he was better off G. He's like, yo, man, however that damn accent is, he's like, man, this kid right here, man, hell no. Why?
Hey, Demetrius. So
At least I can hit Triple G with a jab and an uppercut and some other shit.
But he
We're gonna
can't
hit
touch
him with
it.
all kinds of shit.
He can't touch that Demetrius Andrade kid, though, huh?
Nah, too slick.
Caleb,
too quick.
I'm gonna put Caleb on I'm gonna put him on the point right now.
You talking like that ain't the first time you've done that. Just to say,
Put
I'm
him
gonna
on
do
the
it
spot.
again.
Yeah, we're gonna put him on the spot again. Caleb, how would a Demetrius Andrade versus Golovkin fight play out, man? And no biasness, man. Don't be biased now.
Honestly, just, you know, y'all see me commentating on Fox Sports. You know, I know how to sit back and do that. You know, really, I think if it's one thing that Kell Brook did show us in the Triple G fight, it's that Triple G, once he starts getting hit, you know, he kind of freezes up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's when it's almost like Triple G is a bully, and when somebody starts hitting him back as opposed to sticking and moving in boxing, he doesn't know how to handle that. He doesn't deal well with that. And you know, Demetrius, he's got pop. You know what I'm saying? He's got one punch knocking power in either hand, and you know, Demetrius ain't gonna just keep. Demetrius is gonna make adjustments as needed, and he watched the Kell Brook fight. So if he gets that fight, he already knows what I'm saying. He'll take that into consideration, you know, and he's got a good team around him. So to be up in front of Triple G and letting his hands go, but also not getting hit back, sticking and moving and punching when he needs to, taking angles when he needs to, I think that gives Triple G, you know, a lot of problems. I think Kell Brook showed us that, and I think other times, not even Kell Brook, but just in past fights when people stood in, you know, kind of stood in the pocket and let their hands go and then got out, and then, you know, let their hands go and then got out. He couldn't really keep up with that, and you know, the few times that Willie Monroe was hitting him,
Yeah.
you know, Willie, he
had no power, and
compared to Demetrius Andrade, come on, man,
Yeah.
you know, and then so imagine, and other fights too. You know, I can't
Come
think
on,
of
guys, you guys got me over here blushing and shit.
You too dark to be blushing, man. Stop playing. So, you know, that's my assessment, my unbiased assessment.
Oh man.
Hey, Demetrius, so do you disagree with anything he said or what?
No, he don't.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when I'm looking at, you know, matchups and what I'm able to do to a fighter, and you know, when I'm watching the fight, that's what I do. I don't look at who they're fighting. I look at, you know, me fighting them and what is it that they can do to me that they will be looking for, and what I'm looking for to do to them. So, just going down just like the list, like you said, he's for the Willie Monroe kid, Southpaw kid, Cal Brook, and Gabriel Rosado. These are all guys that are not spectacular, don't have the best jab in the world, and doesn't know how to make the adjustments fast enough or see what they're looking for. And for me, in my eyes, man, I think for me to be successful fighting Triple G is pretty much, pushing him back and taking away his left hand. I believe that's the key to beating Triple G. That's one of the keys. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing out one of the things to do to how to beat him, but it's up to you to figure out how to take away that left hand that he has, and what you need to do to, get him frustrated. And I think the second one, I give you one more, is Deep Water.
Is who?
There's no need to try to,
Yeah. Oh, he said Deep Waters. Okay.
There's no need. I think, key shot, taking away that. To me, I think his best shot is that hook and how to take away from it. And then, watch his feet with it. That's it. Do the research, man. I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn. I just feel like with the skills I have, the IQ, I know what I'm looking for, especially as a southpaw. He won't be able to just walk in thinking that it's A-okay. That's all I got to say.
Okay. And let's just take another call for you guys, see what they have on their minds right now, guys. Let's see right here. Okay, we got 832. What's going on, man?
Man, what's going on, Dante? Dante's Boxing Nation, man. This your boy Jimmy J. Smooth from the Jimmy J. Smooth Network, man. Popping to what's dropping over there.
What's going on, brother?
Jimmy J. Smooth, baby, what's good?
Man, I am so glad P.E.D. Vetkin, not Alexander Povetkin, P.E.D. Vetkin lost that lawsuit.
Congratulations to
Burns. Yeah. And I hope Bermaine Stavern get P.E.D. Vetkin out of there, too. You know what I'm saying? And what's up, brother Demetrius Andrade? Man, what's popping and what's dropping, Demetrius?
What's good, man? What's good?
Man, what they need to do, man, the WBO, WBA, WBC, and IBF, they need to make you the mandatory for all them clowns, man, because they straight ducking you, man. And I'm going to tell you right now, if they don't knock Demetrius Andrade out or knock him down at least 3 times, ain't nobody finna beat Demetrius Andrade because his defense is impeccable. His defense, man, is the bomb, man. And I'm telling you, man, you my dude, man. You my dude, man. And I'm telling you right now, man, go to Germany and knock that clown out, too, brother.
Man, you just sold the fight too, man.
No, he lit.
Fight in the USA, man. I'm gonna put you on the mic and you gonna walk me out, man.
Dope.
Fuck that shit,
hype,
man.
The hype man.
That would be so dope, man. If I could, though, brother, man. But I want you to go to Germany, man, and I want you to smash that fool, man. I want you to take that boy will away. I want you to beat that boy so bad, man. I want you to make that boy quit boxing, man, and make him be a trainer, just like Ricky Hatton, man.
And then they really ain't gonna fight him after that. But no. I don't
have to move up to 168 too.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna move up to 160. He gotta move up to 168 because 160 gonna dust that boy, man. I'm telling you, man. Because I remember Demetrius Andrade was at least no more than number 2 in all the rankings, in the boxing rankings, man. Because I remember he was ranked number 1 in the WBO and the IBF and the WBC before Charles Hatley frauds leaped him. But I think he was still at number 2. But I think they removed him for the rankings. I don't know why, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But they ducking you, Demetrius Andrade, man. They ducking you, man, and they can't duck you for too long, man. I'm telling you now.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the spirit, man.
That's what it is, man. You gotta call back more often, Jay. We appreciate you, man. All right.
Still appreciate you, brother.
All right, take care. Right. Take care, man. Take care. Before we get my man Caleb out the studio, let's try to get another phone call, because see, now that just got me wanting to answer another call, man.
I know.
So we got 904. What's going on, man? So a lot of people on hold right now, by the way.
Oh, what's up, man? What's up? This is Jamar.
Where you calling from?
Where you calling from, Jamar? What's going on?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay,
All right.
Jacksonville,
J-Ville.
Florida. What's on your mind, man?
You said Plant and Andrade is there right now.
Absolutely. We got Plant in the studio. Andre's on the phone.
Oh, hey, bro. Like, be honest with me. I got a question for you guys. Tell me, you guys watch Lee Wiley?
We watch who?
Lee Wiley.
Lee Wiley.
He breaks down footage of fighters and like all the different techniques.
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched it, but somebody got to send me the link. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna definitely check him
Yeah,
out.
like I asked Dante's Boxing Nation last time, and he said he never heard of it. I was like, dude, how do you never hear this dude? This dude is like breaking down like every fight. Like that's like if you look at the fighters now, they all watching Lee Wiley, even the boxers now.
I'm gonna check him out. I'm gonna definitely check him out. I mean, I don't usually have a lot of time to watch a whole lot of channels, but I'm gonna check him out now since you said it.
And that's usually me.
So
I'm
Plant, you been
breaking
watching
down
him?
film and watching.
Huh? What's going on?
So I'm talking to Plant.
Oh, what's happening, man?
You been watching them, Plant?
No, I ain't got a chance to hear you, man.
Oh, you ain't
break down
get
fight
a
stuff,
chance
but
to?
yeah, I need to check in on him.
I mean, like who are you fighting next? You know, who is on your mind? Like who do you got in your sight?
well, I mean,
You asking him who does he want next after his next opponent, or is that?
Oh, you got a fight hooked up
Yeah,
already?
he's already fighting against.
Who do
What's
you-
his name, Mel? How you pronounce his name, Mel?
It's Thomas Amwinbano.
Oh yeah,
Out of Ghana.
Yeah, he's gonna be fighting in the same arena as Wilder the same night, but he's in the main event though. So right on that. So it's a busy night of boxing. You got
Busy
Wilder, Gerald Washington, and you got my man Caleb Plant,
and
all
my
in the
man
same
Tony
weekend.
Harrison fighting that
And
night.
Tony Harrison.
Yeah.
And was it anyone else on there? Oh yeah, Tony Harrison is fighting against
Jared Hurd.
Jared Hurd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another beast at
At
154.
154.
Jared Hurd is no joke, man. Jared Hurd is I'm picking Jared Hurd in that one, but no disrespect to Tony Harrison. Anyway. One of his people's over here. Yeah. Jared Hurd, man. But
You don't
familiar?
think he's slightly overhyped because he beat Ricky Burns or whatever his name is?
What's that?
You don't think he's slightly overhyped just because he beat the Burns kid or whatever?
Who are you talking about?
Jared
Hurd. Or maybe that wasn't Ricky Burns.
No,
it was
not Ricky
somebody
Burns.
else.
He beat Molina. I don't know if it was Javier Molina or Carlos Molina, the twins, but those dudes were beasts as amateurs, man. They both went to the Olympics. They had like over 200. Yeah, Demetrius, you already know about their history, right?
Yeah, it's my weight. It's my weight class, baby.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
I fought at 140, 147 the amateurs. It took him 8 rounds to put him down. He ain't shit.
Oh, what you talking about? You talking about Molina or you talking about Molina or Hurd? Oh, Molina. Woo!
It took Gerald Hurd 8 rounds to stop a guy that used to fight at 140, 147. He came up there and ain't done shit in the pro. No disrespect to Molina, you know what I'm saying? He was definitely him and his brother. But Hurd ain't do shit.
Hey, so because I could barely hear you a little bit, Demetrius, so I just want to make sure I heard this right. So you fought Molina in amateurs. You stopped him, you said?
Nah. I did not fight Molina. What I'm saying is that
Took him. He's saying
Molina fought at 135, 140, 147. His last amateur run his last amateur run during that whole Olympic time.
Okay.
I'm saying it took your boy Jared Hurd 8 rounds to knock out a guy or stop a guy, whatever, that fought that low of a weight class.
I got you. So that sounds like a challenge to me.
Of course.
Hey, Demetrius, Hey, Demetrius, Hurd, he gonna come on the show now, and he gonna probably call you out after this now. You know that, right?
Listen. I already mentioned. I mentioned him, Robinson, all them guys. The next guys that's supposed to be coming up. Well, let's go. Bring them too.
Hey, Demetrius. Hey, one thing though, on the undercard for on March 4th for Danny Swift and Keith, one time Erickson Lubin is fighting
the Hammer.
Is fighting and he at 154. They talking about he the next best thing. He the next great thing. I mean, it's getting crowded there at 154, man. We're gonna have to thin that thing out. What you see right there from Lubin?
Your man sound like an instigator.
He got stopped by
Trying to Don King the joint.
Willie Nelson.
What's that?
Right? I said Tony Harrison was supposed to be the next best thing coming up, and who he gets stopped by?
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
Did you fight Willie Nelson recently?
Listen, let me stop, man. Let me stop.
Hey, keep going, man. Hey, this is what you're going to need to do.
Going, man. Keep going. Talk your shit.
Talk your shit.
They too young as far as experience in the ring, man. They still got to earn theirs. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, they still got to fight some guys. That's all I'm saying. They ain't here before anybody guys yet to be like, yeah. Now they're finally stepping up. The Hurd versus Tony Harrison is a good fight to see what they are made of. You know what I'm saying? That's how I approach things. I don't approach things on, you know, how good somebody's skills are versus a low-level guy. I like to see what their skills are and what their capability of is when they get in there with a guy that's equally on the same page, because at the end of the day, once you get that matchup, you're not fighting that anymore. You're fighting somebody's heart. You're fighting somebody's will. You're fighting somebody that got to feed his family. You got to fight. You got to fight all that. Like, you're going against all that. So it's not just, I'm a skills pay the bills. Yeah, skills pay the bills, but you got them guys out there like that won't take no for an answer. Just like Rashid Warren and his
you read my mind, man. You read my mind, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Yo, Rashid, you know, whatever. But look, the type of guy he fought was like, I don't care. Hit me, I'm going to hit you.
Right.
So
he grinded that fight out, man.
Somebody's made of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like you're going to be like, yeah, he's nice. He's the man. You know what I'm saying? When that happens.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. Well, hey, go ahead.
For me, you guys seen that. Got knocked down by Brian Rose. Got up, whooped his ass, and then came back, beat Brian Rose. You know, Willie Nelson gave me a great fight, hit me with a clean shot, but you know, I adjusted. I made my adjustments the right way, and you know, I conquered. But those are the type of fight, 12 rounds, hard 12 rounds, fighting a guy that's relentless. That's what makes somebody great. You know what I'm saying? That's when you find out what are they really made of. Because there's a lot of guys out there that can hit the pad and look real good. And
there's too many guys who are like, you know, they're getting a lot of exposure, but you know, a lot of it's like in the lights and the cameras, you know, or even more importantly for the lights and the camears. But
I hear you.
You know, when it comes down to it, like who's going to be a dog, who's going to outwork the next man. Or when the fight gets tough, who like Demetrius said isn't going to take no for an answer. You know?
I got you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, well, I want to wrap it up for my man Caleb. We done had him over here for a minute, and we're going to go ahead and let you go. We're going to keep Demetrius on the line for a little bit longer if Demetrius is cool with that. But before I let you go, we're going to take a quick little, break before we go to the next half. But anything else you got on your mind, man, before we let you go, man?
Man, just, appreciate all the looks I've been getting, early in my career. You know what I'm saying? It's blessed to hear, my man say, some people just got it, when you see the goods, and that's something I worked hard for a long time for, and, being Caleb Plant, I was never expected to be this, I've always had a chip on my shoulder because who would have thought that I would be where I'm at, you know what I'm saying?
I know, and I understand, and it's kind of a question I was going to have for you a little while ago. I know that this sport is dominated here in the United States, mostly by people of color. Yeah. And then you white guy coming in here and you making a name for yourself. How have you been able to handle that? Has that been a problem for you?
I'm not putting a box. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow anybody, you or Boo Boo or anyone, to put me in a box and me to follow their rules. This is my, this is my game. You know what I'm saying? And no one's going to, like Demetrius said, I don't take no for an answer. When it comes to training, when it comes to sparring, I'm a stubborn ass dude. You can ask Boo Boo. I was in camp with him. I'm not going to take no for an answer. When I want something, it's already mine. And I'm early in my career. You guys haven't got to see me grind it out and dog it out. But if it's one thing y'all have seen, in my life I've grinded it out. In my life I've dogged it out. You know what I'm saying?
I read about that.
Sat with my daughter in the hospital for 19 months.
Right.
Still did my camps out of the hospital and still look flawless in all my fights. You know what I'm saying? buried my daughter, and then a couple months later I had knockouts that was on Sports Center, punch of the night on a Tony Harrison undercard, So I know what's within me, So anybody saying that I don't have that within me, they don't know my story, because I took a lot of losses outside the ring to be perfect inside the ring. You know what I'm saying? I took a lot of losses outside the ring to stay undefeated inside the ring. It's only a matter of time before somebody who's silly enough to put their name on that line and really come to fight, and they're gonna really catch an ass with them.
That's what's up. I hope we get a chance to see you quite a bit here in 2017. I think this really could be a breakout time for you. I know eventually they got to stop ducking and put that name on the paper, like you said. And I think that time is coming for you.
No, it is coming. It's now. You know what I'm saying? There's a season for everything, and I've waited patiently. I've waited my turn. You know what I'm saying? For 24 years, I've been put underneath. I'm done with that. I'm over that.
And you're gonna have a great story, man.
Oh yeah.
You building a great biography right now, man.
Yeah.
So there's a season for everything. 2017 is my season.
That's what's
so they had time to make do with what they had, and the time they had, but that time's over now.
Well, we'll be watching. We'll be waiting, and we can't wait and patiently anticipating, man.
Definitely, man. I appreciate y'all having me on. I appreciate y'all respecting. I'm saying, my story and where I come from and what I do, and I'm looking forward to being back on soon.
And we gonna keep following your progression, man. You know, every little step you take, like Bobby Brown said on the mini series last week. You see that, boy? That was good. Boy.
Yeah,
anyway, but yeah, man. Well, like I said, I'm gonna let you go. We gonna let him lead the studio, and Milton, go ahead and keep him, going for a minute. We gonna talk about that Errol Spence. What's up? What's up, Demetrius?
Yo, man, Caleb, man, keep doing your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? God bless you. Keep grinding. Take whatever you want. Don't take no for an answer. And, I want to say that I should be staying in better contact with your ass than I am now, man.
Definitely.
So, you know what I'm saying?
We reunite them.
Definitely, man.
Stay in touch, family, man.
For sure, dude. I appreciate that, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I know none of these dudes want to put their name on the contract, so just, you know what I'm saying, keep putting them in the corner. They ain't gonna have no choice at some point. So it's all up, man. And if you don't text my phone, I'm gonna come find you and whip your ass.
There it is. Go
this
ahead.
Is Caleb
man.
Plan. You watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Boom.
Bow.
There it is. And then when we get Demetrius in the studio, we gonna really get it in.
For sure.
Yeah,
So,
all right, man.
so hold on, Demetrius. Just give me one quick second. It's not over yet, you know what I mean? So we're going to go ahead and jump into the second half and get my man out the studio real quick. So y'all just hold on, all right, guys?
Boy, I used to run out the house, right? That's okay. Every time I ran back to the house, I was screaming, "Mommy, Daddy, boom, boom, boom." I used to be rough. I used to come to the house always like saying I had a boo-boo here, boo-boo there. And one day just was like, "Man, I'm sick of this shit. Man, we just gonna name you Boo-boo." Like, damn, boy, that's all you do.
and don't nobody know this story. That's hilarious. That is hilarious, man. Oh man, you a fool, Demetrius.
I used to do it all. Climb on top of the roof, trees, and I did it all, man.
That is hilarious, man. Hey,
That's a funny story right there.
Hey, man, we got it.
I'm surprised my legs healed up the way they did. I used to have a whole bunch of scratches in my shit, falling it.
Jumping off roofs and stuff.
Works, man. Cocoa butter works. Shea butter and cocoa butter.
That's what it is, man. Hey, let's take another call, man. I know you done filled the phone lines up, Demetrius. We got a gang of people on hold right now, man.
This line is like, I've never seen it this packed.
Yeah.
As it is tonight, man.
So we got 757. What's going on, man?
Not much. Hey, it's about time.
Yeah.
I know, man. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I got one question.
Where you calling from, man? What's your name? All right. Hold on, somebody. Okay, go ahead. Say it again. Go ahead. Say it again.
I'm wondering what boxing can do to come back to prominence again. I mean, because you can see the difference in, how like fans over here react to boxing as opposed to over in like the UK. And I mean, I know the difference is probably like we got so many different sports that we can pick from. But I mean, back in the '90s, you still had basketball, football, hockey, but still, it's just like Americans is not really reacting to boxing like they did back in the day. My question is, what do you think that we can do? Like, it's like, fighters like Boo Boo and, I mean, Dante, you doing your job, but what do y'all think can happen to bring boxing back to where it used to be?
Well, you know what? Since we got D on the phone, I'm gonna let him answer that question first. What can we do to make the sport big? And how can we make the sport big in America again, man? Because Demetrius, you got fighters like Anthony Joshua, David Haye, they out there in the UK. No matter who they fight, they filling up arenas, et cetera, et cetera. But it seems like the American fighters are not getting that same type of love. So, what's your thoughts on that? To add on to what my man just said.
Yeah, that's real, man. Don't get realer than that. For me, in a way, how I look at it from the outside and inside out, looking at how it was, like you said, back in the days. I mean, first and foremost, us as people who we are, we need to back each other up more than what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
That's important. I think the community, depending on your culture, definitely had your back and supported who you were because of who you were and what you did to bring entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And also, the network, man. The network has to, stop putting more boxes on commercials, on cereal boxes and stuff like that, like Muhammad Ali and all them. So we need more of that to really start bringing, boxing back to its pinnacle like it was, because we don't have that. And who's been on a cereal box lately? Who's been on a commercial lately?
That's a good point.
These are the things that we need, and also we shouldn't also have to rely on TV so much, because overseas, they don't rely on that. They don't rely on the network. They rely on the fans coming in, filling up the seats, and making it where the TV will have to knock on their door to come in. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to kind of, play that game, man. Like, try to bring it back to, like, something like that, man. I mean, I hope what I'm saying makes sense. I know it kind of sounds,
Yeah, no, but it does.
It definitely does. It definitely does, because that makes sense. And also another thing, fighters fighting each other. Kind of like you see Andrade right here. He can't get the big fights, but if the best fight the best, boxing will be where it used to be. No doubt about it.
And that was another reason why, like, I kind of asked the question, because I mean, you got big fights. Like, for instance, if you ask me, I think the fight with Kovalov and War should have easily done 1 million views. Like, if it was over in the UK, that's a 1 million pay-per-view buy fight. Over here, Kovalov is white, so you can't say, well, yeah, it's because of racism, because you got a lot of good fighters that fight Black, Mexican, and it's just like the fans over here don't really react to boxing how they used to, for one, and how they do in other countries.
Well,
I mean, especially this year.
I think that's because of HBO though, and companies like HBO.
Yeah.
Like when you hear Larry Merchant and Jim Lampley trash guys like a Winky Wright or a Bernard Hopkins or a Floyd Mayweather or a Demetrius Andrade because of their fight style, because they're slick fighters, it creates a negative impression among the viewer,
yeah,
and it makes them not want to support them.
And prime example too is, what I'm saying, I'm a fan, I respect, is this Mayweather shit, man. Why is Mayweather the only promoter that's talking after a bout? And what he said about James McGill and Radu Dat, like, this is bad for boxing? Like, yo, like you said, you can't put that image in people's minds. And now they're like, oh, he's the greatest. He's undefeated. Why you say this? I'm not watching boxing no more. Like, he can't be doing that himself, man. Like, that's not cool either, man. Like you said, like, HBO and these people, whoever's saying boxing, this, that, whatever, all sports get messed up. All sports have, their ups and downs, with judges and referees and making calls and stuff like that. just because something doesn't go in favor of your way, doesn't mean it's bad for sport, man. Definitely, man, we need to stop letting people know, like, this is the sport. This is the best sport. It's one-on-one.
Absolutely.
It's one-on-one.
I believe that, and if I could chime in on this subject, because I've been trying to study it and figure it out, but there are a myriad of problems that are plaguing boxing right now. One thing is that it's so fractured that you have so many people getting their hands in the pot. There's no governing body, one governing body. You go to the NFL, you go to Major League Baseball, NBA, even UFC. There's one central governing body that tells everybody how they're going to act. In each state, they have their own state athletic commissions that run boxing. And boxing has to follow those rules. But promoters, from janky promoters to good promoters and everything in between, they get their hands in the pots. And when you have young athletes who can see that they have other avenues to pursue, football, basketball, UFC, where they're going to get paid, then they move in that direction. That's one problem. Then you throw on top of that, you got, it's only one world that I know of, but you got 4-5 different world titles. Check out the WBA. At middleweight, they have 3 different middleweight champions. You got a super, then you got a regular, then you got an interim, and all of them are considered a world champion. And as long as everybody is walking around thinking that they're a champion with 4 different belts, then there's no incentive to fight the other champion. You'll just fight everybody that's underneath you and fight mandatories. And that's a lesser fight than it would be. But say, for instance, in UFC, there's only one middleweight champion. And you got a pile of people lined up waiting to fight that one person. And they're all top-notch guys. And that's the reason they can't avoid each other. I know PBC was trying to do that, to have a whole stable of fighters to where it's like, hey, we're going to be putting on the best fights at every weight class, and they were trying to gather all the talent up. But that hurts boxing when you have 4 different champions and there's no incentive for this champion to fight the other champion until they get ready. The list goes on and on. I have quite a few other things that are wrong with boxing, but not having a central governing body, having too many different champions, too many people with them hands in the money. The list goes on and on.
Absolutely. Let's take another call, man. Let's take it. We got a whole lot of people on. We got a whole lot of people on hold. I appreciate you guys holding right now. So we got 469. What's going on, 469?
All right, man. What's up? What's up, Dante?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's good? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Man, this is Zay calling from Dallas, Texas, man.
Dallas, Texas. What's good, fam? What's on your mind?
Man, I'm chilling on. I'm a big Errol Spence fan. He from Dallas. He done been through the hood before he got famous, man. A big question I got for Dante, though. What do you think about Tevin Farmer versus Gervonta Davis?
Man, I'm going to be straight up.
Davis just beat a dude that already
Pedraza.
Well, let me just say this, and I'm not just basing it off the triangle theory, but it's important to note that Tevin Farmer, he lost to Jose Pedraza, and we just seen Tank Davis have his best performance, and he was almost somewhat of an underdog in that fight, and he destroyed Jose Pedraza, stepping up in competition. I think that Tank Davis is the complete package, man. I mean, he can fight on the inside, he can fight on the outside. He's got that. He's a southpaw, like my man Demetrius Andrade. He's got the power, like Andrade. You know what I mean? So, with that all being said, no disrespect to my man Tevin, but I don't see nobody really beating your boy Gervonta Tank Davis right now. I see him beating Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer's a beast, but I don't see him touching him, no. Demetrius.
Even Loma? You don't think Loma could beat him?
Well, Loma is at a higher weight class, right? Isn't Tank at 130? Or am I tripping? Are they at the same division right now?
Yeah, Lomachenko is 132, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm tripping. I don't know why I'm thinking Loma is above. Outside of Lomachenko, I take that back. Outside of Lomachenko, I don't know if he's ready for Lomachenko right now, but, excuse me, outside of Lomachenko, I don't see anybody beating him,
What about you, Andre?
I gotta make sure. I don't know if he's in his weight class, but he did fight Lomachenko and Gary Russell, man.
Yeah. What?
Is Gary Russell in that weight class?
No, he had 126.
126.
Yeah. He won division South, but he said he want to move up wherever Lomachenko go. Gary Russell said he wanted to follow him and get that rematch. So I mean,
I think that'll be a good rematch right there, boy.
Hey Demetrius, what you think about Gervonta, man?
Now I definitely think he does definitely have a lot of skill. That last fight that I seen, I seen the stuff that where he gonna need some work at, because it wasn't. I know he closed the show out the way he was supposed to close the show out, but there was times and moments of that fight where you could see where he was having difficult times of thinking, I believe, in my eyes. But he definitely has the power, the skills. He has the reflex, and he definitely knows how to make the adjustments the correct way. You know what I'm saying? He's still learning. At a young age, he's still learning, and we're going to see a lot of him.
Yeah. Hey, Demetrius, do you ever worry about sitting on the shelf too long? Like when you get, these delays, they throw roadblocks in your way, and you're not in the ring 3 times a year. Do you ever worry that that's affecting you and is slowing down your career or anything like that, to where it may affect your performance?
I mean, like I said, I'm tall, black, and handsome, man. I'm still in good shape. I'm still young enough. I feel like it plays in my favor at the same time, because people are going to want to stop seeing this bullshit fights and want to see Demetrius Andrade fight, and people see them call out Demetrius Andrade. But, I mean, I'm not taking no shots, man. The only thing that, that sucks in my end is like, this is my business too, baby. I want to get paid. I got
right.
I got things and kids that need to, grow up too and have the things that they need. And, I made some good investments with the money I have, property and, other stuff like that. But, I'm not done, going to where I want to go. But, I can't be sitting too long not earning what I deserve. But at the same time, I ain't gonna be punch drunk and messed up in the long run anyway. So I mean, that's how I kind of look at it nowadays, man. Like, I ain't getting hit.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you preserving your health bar is still pretty full right now. Street Fighter reference. But anyway, hey, Demetrius, let me ask you about this news. Manny Pacquiao, he just recently said he's going to let the fans choose and pick his next opponent. And the list of fighters that he had on that list basically was Terrence Crawford, Amir Khan, Kell Brook, and Jeff Horn. What do you think he should do? Who do you think he should fight next, Demetrius?
I mean, I think the fans are going to want, the next, best entertaining fighter out there right now. And that's, I don't know who this Jeff Hurd is. Probably, don't, know too much about him.
Yeah.
But it's probably Terrence Crawford, Terrence Crawford, he's been at HBO a few times. I think his biggest step-up fight was Gamboa, and this will be another big step-up fight. But at the same time, where Manny Pacquiao, where is he really at in the boxing game? How he's progressing or declining? I'm not too sure. He's not at his best anymore, but I believe that would be a good fight for Terrence Crawford than anybody else you just named on that list.
Well, yeah, that's what the fans really want. But Kirk Jackson, let me go and ask you on that. So what do you think he's going to do? If you could predict out of those fighters, I'm going to tell you right now, I think that sounds to me like he's trying to negotiate with Amir Khan. I mean, of course, we all want the Terrence Crawford fight, but I mean, but Kirk, what do you think? Who do you think he's going to pick?
I think you hit it right on the head. I actually voted on the poll, and I voted for Terrence Crawford, knowing damn well that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. When I checked the poll, it actually had Amir Khan ahead. So I know think that's the biggest.
Isn't that crazy?
That's the most lucrative fight for him.
Yeah,
definitely easy. Not saying easy, but you can go in there with a blindfold swing, and Amir Khan will probably be in the corner somewhere, laying down.
That's a damn shame.
But it's the damn truth.
I'm just saying.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Yeah.
I'm just saying, man.
Man.
You know, even Canelo, I'm surprised Canelo went those many rounds with your boy. I was like, damn, man, throw up, damn, punch, man. That's what you got to do. Throw something.
The head gonna be right there.
What? He said the head gonna be right there. I mean, man.
Something's gonna be there.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be all shoulders.
AK, what you think, man? I mean, why would they, if they do a poll, why would fans want Manny Pacquiao to fight a dude who just got slept against Canelo? What's up with that, AK?
Well, because they know because they know Pacquiao gonna put him to sleep again. That's what they want to see. They want to see Pacquiao.
They want a guarantee win. You said
a knockout.
Yeah, they want a guarantee win.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, I'm surprised though that Terrence Crawford wasn't up on the poll.
Well, they don't want that. The fans don't want to see that. The fans, they know that Terrence Crawford might beat him, so they don't want to see that fight.
Hey, I think it's all of the Philippines trying to spare Manny Pacquiao.
That's why I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. And beyond the Philippines.
Not to get off subject, but what happened to that James Kirkland and Cotto fight?
Yeah,
Kirkland got his nose broke.
Yeah, Kirkland got his nose broken. He pulled out. So now Cotto is negotiating with Juan Marquez now. But I'm glad, Demetrius, because Kirkland, to me, he was done after the Angulo fight. Even though he won that fight, I think he was done after that. Yeah. He never been the same. So I'm glad Cotto not fighting Kirkland. But Marquez versus Cotto is a little bit more interesting. Did you hear about that one, Demetrius?
Nah, that's why I asked that question so I could, get up to date. I wasn't following it too much because I was kind of disappointed. Like, I heard it was going to be on pay-per-view, Cotto versus Kirkland. I was like, come on, man, don't do this.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I felt about it, man. So, like I said, that's an upgrade in competition, man. I mean, Demetrius, what you think about the heavyweights, man? You got your boy Deontay Wilder going against an undefeated Gerald Washington. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I ran into the Gerald Washington dude. He does definitely have some nice size. I haven't looked into him yet to see what his ability is as far as fighting yet. So I really don't know. But what I can say is, I think honestly, I don't know this guy yet, but I can't knock him out the pit or anything like that. But I only see a few people giving Deontay, a run for his money, and that's definitely the Klitschko, Anthony Joshua, because they know how to fight with their size, and those are some big boys that can just their one arm is just defense, like move, like they just Klitschko just bullet with that right hand, just straight down. He's not the old Klitschko as we know him as, but he still got game. He knows how to use his size well. He's a big boy, but I don't know about this other dude, like I said, but I see them two giving Deontay, definitely. But Deontay's my boy, and boy, bomb squad. He hit you with that right hand. It's night-night.
Night-night. No. It's night-night. So
you can't count him out ever.
But the thing is, the only thing I think that, and I've watched a little bit of Gerald Washington, and he says, quote, he's going to shock Deontay Wilder and he's going to humble him. But I don't see it happening. This is the thing. I think he does have good size, but he's a good defensive fighter. He can put up some. He has a good defense, but his transition from defense to offense is real slow. He does not have that amateur pedigree, he reminds me of the other guy, man, that was a football player that was fighting a few years back.
What's his name? The one that got knocked out by Chris Arreola?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Mitch.
Mitch. Seth Mitchell.
Seth Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just about to say, man, because we ain't never seen a football player become, heavyweight champion. They always they knock out a couple cats, but once they step up in competition, they usually fall short.
Hey.
But Gerald Washington, he did good against your boy Amir Mansour. It was a draw, But
that
was some experience.
Yeah, that was some experience.
But Deontay Wilder, like
this
Demetrius,
is a whole different
like
animal.
Demetrius
This is a
said,
different beast.
Yeah,
man. It's levels to this shit.
All day. All day. Demetrius, since you brought up Klitschko, what about Anthony Joshua versus Klitschko? Me personally, I still think Klitschko is just as good as he was 10 years ago because, he preserves his health. He don't really get hit a lot. When he be doing all that holding, he makes sure he don't get hit that much. So I think we're going to see the best Klitschko. What you think, Demetrius?
Yeah, definitely, man. He knows his at stake, man. He's fighting Anthony Joshua is a freaking Ford tanks. You know what I'm saying? Hummer tanks. Like, that boy is huge. He is like on TV don't do justice, man. I've been to England and I've seen him up close and we talk, and that boy is huge, But Klitschko, knowing that, he's going against a young fighter that knows how to fight, has that Olympic pedigree, Klitschko's going to have to bring his A game, man. He's going to have to use that, what I love about Klitschko is the way how he brings his, his jab hand out. He waves it, like a little windshield wiper back and forth to, find you, just come straight down the pipe with his right hand. And, that's been his key to victory, since he's been boxing, man. And that's tough to get behind because he's big, he's moving people around, coming straight down the pipe. So Joshua definitely haven't seen that coming in the pro game. So I definitely think it's going to be a great fight to watch, man.
I think so too.
Man.
And
Gerald, I think it's going to go 2 rounds.
Yeah, and Gerald Washington, since we've been talking about him, I interviewed him, and he picking Klitschko to win that fight. And Carl Froch, I interviewed him too. He picking Klitschko to win that fight. So it just goes to show you how competitive it is. Me personally, I got to lean towards Anthony Joshua. But like you said, it's a tough fight, man. It's a real tough fight. Hey, let's try to take another.
I think people put too much stock into the Tyson Fury loss. Personally,
I totally agree. I mean, that was a chess match. It wasn't like it was Barrera versus Morales. It was a chess match. Neither one of them was throwing punches. Like you said last week, Kirk, Klitschko, he wasn't used to the height. You had a guy that was taller than him. He was using reach. Klitschko's used to fighting guys smaller than him where he could jab, he could tie him up. He could take advantage of that height. But he wasn't able to do that against Tyson Fury. So, Anthony Joshua.
Then Tyson Fury.
Go ahead.
Didn't Tyson Fury test positive though for that fight?
Man, he didn't test positive for all kind of stuff, didn't he?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
AKA Scarface.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
He was like coke.
Yeah, he tested positive for coke and he tested positive for PEDs. Yeah. So
he was on steroids when he beat Klitschko.
Man, he was on that super duper PED dope. He had cocaine mixed with steroids. Boy, he was on that new dope right there.
Oh man.
Yeah, well that loss don't count, man.
Man, that boy ain't no damn drug, boy. Super dope right there. Hey, let's take another call, man. We got to get in this mini before we let my man Demetrius go, man. I appreciate you hanging out with us, Demet. Let's go ahead and take this other call.
It's been a minute.
For sure, man. When you come back out here to Vegas, man, got to get you in the studio, man, for sure.
Yeah, just make sure you got one of them things wearing the bikini tucked
I got
about two of
them. Hey, you just tell me. You tell me which one you want in the studio, man. We get it done for you, man.
Hey, I give up my seat.
That's what's up, man. Hey, let's take another call real quick before I let you go, Demetrius. We got 832. What's going on, 832?
Man, what's going down with y'all? It's Jay Cloud calling out of Houston, Texas.
All right, Texas is inspired up tonight. Yeah. What's going on, fam?
Yeah, man. Ain't nothing to it. Hey, going back right quick, you said after James Kirkland pulled out of the fight, you said Juan Manuel Marquez is a step up in competition?
Well, I'm saying Kirk is completely done. I'm saying if you sneeze and Kirk, he gonna buckle. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to Marquez, when it comes to Marquez, I think Marquez he's preserved himself. I'm not saying Marquez is the 30-year-old Marquez, but I think that Marquez versus Cotto would be more competitive. I personally, that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree too.
Yeah, I mean Marquez has had some battles with Pacquiao, and the boy like 45 years old. I mean, I feel like Cotto needs to, just like how they want Pacquiao to take a top fight. I mean, Cotto's still got some gas left in the tank. I think Cotto needs to pick a better component than a 45-year-old Marquez. If you ask me.
Andrade had a bunch of Andrade.
Right, that's what I was about to say. He needs to pick a top 154 now. What's wrong with it?
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Let me tell you, at that stage of the career, at that late stage in career, man, they've been through some wars. It's time to make some money.
Cotto didn't like that Austin Trout fight, so we already know what Demetrius to do.
Oh, we know what to do.
Oh yeah.
It would be a
Cotto's like,
green fight.
Wait, I'm gonna get paid the same to fight 45-year-old guy or 28-year-old guy. Well, I just stick with the 45-year-old guy.
Right. Exactly.
And what Demetrius just said right
And
there is what we.
I don't blame him.
There you go. That you hear it from a fighter at that stage of his career. You know, the Jew thing worth the squeeze. You know, he's probably is not going to be. He's not chasing titles really right now. He loves the sport of boxing, likes to fight, but he's not going to put himself in there with the toughest fight. You know, he wants to please the fans.
Hold up, man. But
give it to me.
Say, though, I kind of gotta like bounce back and forth because then you got a guy like Bernard Hopkins that's fighting a guy like Joe Smith, whatever his name is, that's 26 years old, and Joe Smith is trying to clean his crack off. And
right.
Hopkins is 50 years old, and he's like, you know what?
Hey, man.
I'm gonna do it because this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely got two different type of breeds in this sport and how they want to go out, I guess. But you know, like I said, man, if I was in that position that it comes to that point where I'm up in age and I gotta go, of course I want to go out with somebody that's been fighting as long as me, and that we can make one of them fight, then fighting the young underdog because I'm going against a whole lot of youth. But there's guys, like I said, Bernard Hopkins, that did it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like you say, Cotto, yeah, he's been in a few wars. He fought top guys. You can't knock him. He's definitely the man. He went 12 rounds with Canelo. So, yeah, I kind of understand, too. Like, yeah, he's still got some dog in him to fight somebody other than, Marquez at the same time. But if it ain't me, then he needs to fight Marquez.
Hey, Demetrius, I just thought about another question, man. What did you think about Shakur Stevenson? Everybody thought he was going to sign with Floyd Mayweather, man. And he pulled an audible, busted a U-turn, and signed with your boy Bob Arum, Top Rank, man. What was your reaction and thoughts? Why do you think he did that?
Say that again, because I don't think I ran into this one.
Okay, Shakur Stevenson, the silver. I know you know who he is, the silver medalist. A lot of people thought that he was going to sign with Mayweather Promotions, but he ended up signing with Top Rank instead of Mayweather Promotions. Because Floyd, he flew all the way out to Brazil. He went to the Olympics to basically try to sign Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson just recently said that it turned out Floyd Mayweather, and I quote, Floyd Mayweather was all talk. He said he was disappointed. He said he never sent me no paperwork, no nothing. He was just all talk. I mean, does that surprise you, Demetrius?
Nah, I mean, not at all, man. Not at all. There's no point of getting in a marriage with somebody you can't get in contact with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't want to, bash the whole promotional team out there. Mayweather, they're doing their best they can, and it's not an easy thing. But when you got a guy like Floyd too busy being everywhere else, I mean, like I said, you don't want to get in a marriage. You can't get in contact with the person. So, I mean, I think he's probably making the next best decision. Top Rank has been around for a long time, and they're with one of the best networks. And, I mean, it might be a good place for him.
Yeah, man, you broke it down well, man.
Very well. You
broke it down well. Hey, brother, hey, Demetrius, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, man. I feel guilty. I done had you on the phone for so long, man. But I'm going to let you go.
I owe you this, though. I owe owe you this, though, man. I owe you this. It's been a long time, man. I know you've been hitting the phone and stuff, man. We're supposed to be getting it, but, timing is everything. So, I appreciate you and what you do with the sport of boxing and keeping it alive and letting the people know the truth and how you come along and deliver the message the correct way. And, you fix on the subliminal messages and you talk about them and you let the people know how it is the way it should be.
That's what's up, man.
Good looking out, man. I appreciate the endorsement, fam. I appreciate the endorsement. We're going to have to go ahead and make that an intro right there.
Oh, most definitely.
That's my man Demetrius doing the damn thing. So, hey, brother, well, anything else you want to say to the fans, man?
Yeah, man, stay tuned, man. Your boy ain't out. We still in it. We going to knock this dude out. We going to go there like
That's what's up.
We're going to bring that right back here, and we're going to sit down and tell all the motherfuckers, we want you, and you.
There we go.
Like, fuck you, I like you.
Who next?
Hey, man, y'all done heard it. I don't care what they say when it comes to the belts. Y'all done heard it from the real junior middleweight champion of the world right now, man. My man Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, man. So once again, family, thanks for your time, and I look forward to getting you back on the show, man, and chopping it up with you after you bring that W back home, all right?
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. God bless everybody out there.
All right, brother. All right, take care, fam. All right. So that was cool, huh,
That
Milt?
was phenomenal, man.
Phenomenal.
We can have this cat on every week.
Oh, man. Oh,
what
man.
Puppy say we can do this every weekend. Is
Yeah.
that all right?
Well,
Yeah.
Is that all right with you?
It's a shame. It's a shame a personality and a talent like his isn't recognized on a more wide scale.
Man.
That is an excellent point, Kirk.
Very good point.
He's giving people everything that the fans claim that they want. You got knockouts. You're getting personality. You got an Olympian. He represented his country. Everything about Demetrius Andrade is gold. And yet, because he's on that damn coincidental list, he ain't getting the same type of treatment. And that's what it comes down to. And I'm glad that Demetrius touched on that. You heard that message he left before he left, when he basically said, I appreciate the fact that you be speaking on these double standards. I'm paraphrasing, but he knows what time it is.
Right.
You feel me? And it's sad, Kirk. I mean, it's just really sad, man. I mean, once again, you got Wilder, he get knockouts. And this is another thing. Now, Wilder, he got an upgrade in competition, right?
Right.
Usually when that fighter finally fights someone better or whatever, that's usually when people give him credit. Like, for example, Kell Brook, he just signed to fight Errol Spence. I'm not going to say he's ducking no more.
Right.
I'm not going to say, but he's still a ducker.
You won't hear that out of my mouth again.
Yeah, but you notice with Wilder, all the comments when I did a video, even though he's fighting an undefeated Gerald Washington, all the comments, this cherry-picking bastard. And even if he fights Anthony Joshua, they will still try to talk about past.
Yes,
I know. That cherry-picking bastard. But remember last year, that's all he fought was cherry. You know what I'm saying? So this is how you know those are cold words. When you give them what they want and they still complaining, we know it's cold words, man.
Yeah.
We know it's cold words. But Milton,
You'll never be able to please him.
But Milton, and you got to make up for leaving early too. So we got to keep you in here, man.
Yeah.
But Milton and guys on hold once again, man. I appreciate you guys staying on hold. We're gonna answer a call in a minute, all right? But Milton and everybody on the panel, AK Kirk, I want to go back to this breaking news today, man. What was your reaction, man, when you heard that Kell Brook finally signed the dotted line?
I can believe it. I had to read it twice because I had to see, initially the headline was, purse bid called off. And I thought that
they made it sound negative. Yeah.
I thought the rest of it was going to be no fight. You know what I mean? But then it was like purse bid called off, canceled. Kell Brook and Spence have agreed to terms, and they're gonna fight May 20th. I was like, oh my God, man!
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. This is the fight I've been wanting. This is the fight I think the fans want to see. And it's about time that they give it to him too. Yeah, absolutely, man. And it was interesting. AK, you heard your boy Demetrius. You heard who he was picking in that fight, right?
Oh yeah, he picked Kell Brook, right?
Yeah, I like that, man. See, I like that, and and Brits, you can't talk no more about these Americans being so biased, because there you go, you got Demetrius Andrade picking Kell Brook, but this is that type of fight, though. This is that type of fight, and it's a 50-50 fight. But even though it's a 50-50 fight, and see, this is what makes Errol Spence so special, man, because how. Kell Brook, he was able to hold and tie up Sean Porter to a victory in some ways. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was just tying up because he did show a lot of. He showed a lot of.
Was beautiful.
Beautiful
jab.
The jab to the solar plexus, the right hand to the solar plexus.
Yeah.
I've always said that I thought that Kell Brook was the best welterweight champion, and I believe even now, I believe he's the best welterweight champion. But I don't believe he's going to be able to tie up Errol Spence and nullify his attack.
He won't.
I don't think he's going to be able to do it, man.
He won't.
I don't think he's.
So
go ahead,
so
AK.
You think, so you don't think Errol Spence is going to box with him? You think Errol Spence is going to be the pressure guy and Kell Brook is going to be the boxer? And you know what I mean? And so you think Errol Spence is going to put pressure on him and walk him down?
I think Errol Spence is going to do everything it takes, man. You can't really, even though he's been getting vicious knockouts, I don't believe you could put him in one category.
You cannot.
I think Errol Spence could box.
His versatility is amazing.
But he will be aggressive. He will be aggressive. But if he needs to, if he sees that, okay, I need to go to plan A, we'll probably see a little bit of boxing. But I think for the most part, he gonna come after him the same way he came after Bundu and Algieri.
I think he's coming first with a steady dose of that right jab, and he's gonna give him all the body shots he can on the inside. I think he's gonna pressure him. Both he and Sean Porter became pressure, but Sean Porter is more of a volume puncher, whereas Errol Spence, he is picking pinpoint accuracy.
More technically sound.
More technically sound.
Yeah, well, Errol Spence, he's more accurate, and plus he got the height and the reach, like for a good welterweight fighter. Sean Porter, his height don't do him no justice. You know what I mean at that weight. But speaking of that fight, I don't know if y'all remember Errol Spence versus Barrera. He was getting caught with a lot of good right hands.
Yeah, I did.
He got caught with a couple of them.
He did.
He walked in to a couple of them.
I thought
y'all remember that one.
He did get caught. But he adjusted, though. And see, that's my whole thing.
Yeah.
I feel he got caught with a couple of them, and then after about 2 or 3 rounds, he didn't get caught anymore. And that's what I try to look at, when it comes to a fighter. Of course, you may get caught a couple times in the first round, but can you figure it out and fix the problem before it's too late? I think he did that, but no doubt about it, Kell Brook ain't no Barrera, so that's why this is a tough fight.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's one thing you have to watch out for, because like I keep saying, Kell Brook is one of his best attributes is that he's really accurate with him 1-2, and he doesn't telegraph. So and he has a lot of power, and he's big for 147. So he has to watch out for and not walk into a right hand.
Absolutely.
But, well, you know what I mean, and that's another thing. That's why I want to see this fight so bad, because you know what I mean, like we never really seen Errol Spence fight somebody with the power of Kell Brook, and same goes for Kell Brook. And if he has, which is Golovkin, which I don't know if y'all heard what Kell Brook said, that Golovkin could knock him out. So basically, he don't see how Errol Spence could even, think about stopping him. But Golovkin did knock him out, because if they didn't stop the fight, he would have knocked him out.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
So at the end of the day,
he would have broke
he
ass.
never fought nobody like Kell Brook with his style. I mean, not Kell Brook, but like Errol Spence, a southpaw, and as good as Errol Spence. So I can't wait to see that fight, but I'm picking Errol Spence. So
and
with Kell Brook, he also people need to look at. He has a really good sneaky right uppercut.
Yeah,
that he caught Golovkin with, and like he's a polished fighter, but I think Errol Spence, I think he's going to go in there and make a statement like, I'm here in the welterweight division. The division is mine. I'm taking this belt. I think he's going to go in there with the mentality that I have to knock this guy out to secure a victory on his home turf. And I think he's going to come in laser focused, and like we saw what he did against Bundu, how he just systematically broke that man down.
He does that with
round
every
round,
fight.
And,
every fight I've seen, man.
That's how he has to do it. Yeah.
Every fight I've seen.
The
Errol
quickest
Spence.
way to get. Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that, you know, that's the way you have to do it, because the quickest way to get knocked out is go for the knockout. So,
oh yeah,
you know, and Kell Brook could do hit hard, but one thing we know for sure, he's going to struggle to make weight. So, and Errol Spence visit that body. So, you know, if he struggles extra hard to make the weight, you know, Errol Spence definitely going to explore that.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to my man, Coach Sheldon, and in the chat room. He just said Spence by decimation. So, hey, it's funny.
I'm with you.
It's funny because earlier, well, I won't say it's funny, but I said Coach. I meant to say Coach Sheldon when I was bringing your name up earlier, Coach. So, yeah, just wanted to throw that out there, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and take another call, man. We got, let's see what we got over here. We got 773. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, Dante? This is Kelvin, Chicago, bro. How you doing?
All right, Kelvin. What's good with you, fam?
Hey, man, I got a couple of questions for you. First off, I want to say congratulations on all the momentum that you guys are creating within boxing.
Thank you.
I think a lot of these fights are happening because of you guys. You guys are putting that truth out there, and especially getting the IBF president on the line and having him, state that this is a mandatory, and that they weren't going to let Kell out of that mandatory. That's the major reason why this is happening.
Respect.
So first of all, I'm going to just say kudos to all you guys for making this happen. I've been on the front line for about 12, 15 years trying to blog and trying to, just get online and try to put the truth out there as a fan. But to see what you guys are doing, this is totally different.
Thanks, brother.
It's changing the shape of the sport.
Tremendous.
But that gets to my question. My question is right now, when you were talking earlier about, some of the challenges with boxing and some of the issues that we have with governance, one of the problems that I feel, is really hurting the sport is the fact that Ring Magazine is kind of losing its credibility. It used to be that credible place where you could get objective perspective on exactly who was at the top of the sport. Do you feel like they're still doing their job, or is there another entity that you look at as being more official and unbiased than the Oscar De La Hoya-owned Ring Magazine? And if that's the case, who is that?
That's a good question. I want you to start. Can you start with that one?
I can start with it. And I know that there are biases, and until we get, a publication that really represents the fight fans, I'd stop reading Ring, and because the stories are so slanted. I rarely ever read Ring. I may go there just to see who Ring champions are, or their pound for pound list, just to bump it up against other lists. But it's hard for me to take it serious anymore, especially when you see. I mean, I understand and I respect Tyson Fury winning, but they had that man sitting up on the cover as like Fighter of the Year. And then having Ronda Rousey on the cover. It's just so many different things. Me, I go to Boxing Scene. I do, most of the stuff I read now is online. I don't usually pick up any other, hard cover publications out of the store anymore. But Boxing Scene, that's where I go and I get quite a bit of my information. Dan Rafael, I respect him. Even though sometimes, he come with the biases himself too. But
hell no!
Hey man, I say this, man. I give him some props. The man been in the game for a long time. He writes. I know what's slanted. I know what's biased. But the man does grind, and I read some of his stuff, and I'm able to pick out what he's injecting from his own personal views, and on top of what's the story.
Let me say this.
I know where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from.
Well, let me say this.
I'm telling you.
Let me say this too.
I know where you're coming from. I do.
To answer bro's question right now, it's funny that you bring up Dan Rafael, because I was about to say Dan Rafael is the exact problem in the sport of boxing.
I don't think he's worse than Ring Magazine, though.
Well, I mean, but they all, I mean, you know, if you a rapist and, you know, one dude done raped 15 people and the other dude, he done only raped 5, they all rapists. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the bottom line.
I'll put it like this, and I'll let you finish.
Go ahead.
I'm going to hit you with the Kanye.
Go ahead.
I'm going to let you finish. But, hey, sometimes I even sit at home, as much as I hate these people, I sit there and watch Fox News sometimes. I will pick up. I have to see exactly what they're talking about because I can't sit and watch CNN and MSNBC all the time because I only get one point of view. You get what I'm saying? But I do sit and sometimes I tolerate it, even though it's almost about to throw up in my mouth, watching Fox News. You know, but I get a different perspective, and sometimes that's why I go over to a different publication or a different, a different read.
Well, I mean.
So
you know,
that's my point of view.
Only time you'll ever see me watching anything on Fox News is if somebody is debating them, you know, on some ridiculous shit.
But you'll never see it if you never watch it.
Well, no,
if you get what I'm saying.
Not true for me because the ignorance that you see spewed on Fox News, I see it in the comment section all day.
I know.
Just like I don't watch ignorant stuff on the internet when it comes to YouTube channels or anything like that because I already know what the ignorant person is saying because it's in my comment section. You see intelligent people posting stuff and you see the decafs posting stuff. So that's why, like, for example, the decaf that called us last week, everything that he said, we hear that all day. We hear that all the so I was
listening to that on the way home, by the way.
Yeah. Oh,
that was good shit.
Oh, it was real good shit. It was real. I mean, shouts out to, my man Decaf from 908. And I got love. And real talk, I got love for the decafs. Y'all want some therapy, go ahead and call up the hotline, the DBN hotline. But on some real talk though, I mean, the bottom line is that I don't have to jump around and listening to ignorance like a Fox News, and when it comes to boxing, Jim Lampley, because Jim Lampley, Dan Raphael, these are Fox News in boxing. Boxing is,
I know what you mean, man.
So my whole point is, once again, dude was talking about what can help the sport and what's affecting the sport. When you have people like Dan Raphael that are telling new fans that, that Andre Ward versus Brand was the most boring fight ever on HBO. Not only that, but Dan Raphael, and this is how offensive, and let's just put the word out there, much of a supremacist he is, the fact that this man, he covers boxing, works for the biggest entity, the biggest organization, ESPN, in America, right?
The worldwide leader.
This man, he travels all the way to another country to cover Kell Brook versus Golovkin, 2 foreigners. But he won't go down the street and cover Andre Ward's last 2 fights before the Kovalev fight. That's what's hurting the sport of boxing right there. The biggest organization in the sport of boxing, the biggest entity in the sport of boxing, they will jump to another country and support them just because they got the complexion for the protection. You know what I mean? Or just because they not on the coincidental list.
I can't disagree with you. I can't.
What Dante's saying, like, the fighters don't even respect him.
Oh, I know that.
The fighters don't respect him.
I know that.
They know what he's about. Like, just looking at his main page on ESPN, he doesn't break any news down really, and
no, he doesn't.
So biased.
He's a
with his breakdowns of the weight by weight fighters and pound. He's sorry. I don't think
Grand Wizard of the decafs.
Wow, you give him the Grand Wizard of the decafs. Who said that?
Well, I already said that before, but somebody in the comment section that just said it. That this just freeze up. Hello? Oh wow, I think it just froze up. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the clock stopped moving in my chat room. But go ahead, guys. I think we done blew up the internet with all this truth right here, and the shit just froze up damn near. But anyway, go ahead, bro. Your last question.
Dante, last question. Have y'all ever thought about, from a perspective of getting all the online objective media together and putting together your own website that represents the fans' perspective?
Absolutely.
And meaning when it comes down to pound for pound list, when it comes down to actual rankings, just an objective entity that's just putting it out there real without worrying about all the business aspects of, you know, whether you're with HBO, whether you're with Showtime, whether you're with Premier Boxing Network, you know, it just having you guys come together and put something out there that is official, I feel like it would get momentum. But
that's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
Excellent. Excellent idea.
There's something like that. There's something like that with I think it's called the transnationalboard.com.
Transnational
Something
Board.
kind of like that. Yeah, they have a bunch of different like media not personalities, but people in the media from like all over the world, and they pretty much come together and they come up with different rankings for each weight class, pound for pound, things of that nature.
Oh yeah, I was on there today.
I think Teddy Atlas is involved. A few other like
I was on there today.
respected people.
Hey, that is an excellent idea. And it's funny because we were talking about something similar to that a couple days ago. So, no, that's a great idea. And, you know, that's the whole point. Like you just said, my man, you know, we have something to do. If it's a small role or a big role in getting some of these fights, or even if we don't get the fights, we expose these cats to where, you know, you cannot make any excuses for that fighter for why he didn't take the fight. We basically exposed them to where, you know, it's either black or gray, or black or white, I should say, right? I mean, exactly like when it came to, what's his name, Leo Santa Cruz, and he was, you know, avoiding Guillermo Rigondeaux, and he kept saying stuff like, oh, you know, I'm not fighting because my dad said this, and that. Then all of a sudden he asked for $3 million, you know? So it's like after a while, you know, we put so much pressure on them to where they're forced to either, you know, take the fight or make it very obvious that they want no parts of that fighter. But yeah, man, but we definitely going to look into that, and that's what we want to do. We want to get the truth out, you know, to a broader audience, and that's what we're trying to do every week over here on Dante's Boxing Nation. And shout out to all the other channels that speaking the truth as well. I'm gonna get a list of all the real ones that, you know, that keep speaking the truth, you know, but that's pretty much what that is, man.
But I will tell you this is closer to the floor than it is the ceiling for Dante's Boxing Nation. This thing is going to grow. You're going to see some changes in the studio. You're going to see some changes in the reach and the audience. This is much closer to the floor than it is the ceiling. There's much more to come.
Absolutely.
Guarantee you, brother.
Absolutely.
Just keep supporting. We
in my
appreciate
opinion,
it.
you guys are there, man. You guys are there, and I'll tell you this, man. You guys may not see it being on the inside, but on the outside, we can see how much you're changing the politics of boxing.
Oh,
and that's
wow.
huge, because I have casual fans who, you know, they love sports in general. You know, they love the NCAA when it comes to football. You know, they love the NBA, NFL. But the problem they have with boxing is it's not clear. You know, everything's murky. And there's 1,000 excuses for why a fight's not going to happen, and 1,000 excuses for why somebody didn't get the decision. And they love the sport. They just can't get into it because it's just not linear. But you guys you're making it linear. So keep up with the good work. I'm not going to take up any more of your time, but awesome job to all of y'all.
Thank you,
Hey,
brother.
thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Call in anytime, brother. All right, take care, man.
Take care, brother.
And you know, it was interesting what he did say, because I think I was telling you this the other day, Milton. Just what he said, you know, when you on the inside looking out, you know, versus vice versa, right? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You don't really see the progression and you know how much of an influence, you know, you're putting out there until like the people they come up to me on the streets, or you know, and they talk boxing with me and they tell me certain things. I had this cool Mexican cat at the last fight we was at. He came up to me and he said, "Hey man, I really love what you're doing. I seen him earlier at the fight, and then he came back and I seen him again." And he said, and this was real touching to me, you know, especially when you hear people who aren't black touch on this. He was like, "Hey man, I see the racism, man." And I really, you know, I tell my friends about it, and I say, you got to listen to this guy, man, because even though we don't want to acknowledge it, he said, because at first I didn't want to acknowledge it, but then I started to realize, you know, the stuff that Dante be saying, it does make sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
And he said he be talking to some of his friends, there's some of them that are ignorant like that, and he be educating them on some straight DBN type stuff. So that right there is big. You know, when you reaching people like that, and that's the whole purpose of pushing out the truth, to expose it, you know, push awareness so those cats feel uncomfortable with being that way.
You remember a while back, man, we were doing the one on Kovalev. This was a long time ago, and we were talking about, you know, Kovalev with the
calling the monkey
T-shirt.
I remember.
The thing for me, I was more upset with HBO than I was with Kovalev, because the thing is, HBO has Jim Lampley in particular. Mm-hmm. He has the voice, he has the platform,
the influence,
right. He should be speaking to it, but what he did was he made it seem as though just John Pascal called Kovalev a racist.
Oh yeah,
gave it no context.
Yeah.
Didn't go into detail.
They made it sound like that was the racial.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Yeah, that was the racial slur that should have had, you know, all the attention.
I was more upset with them because I'm like, okay, well, are y'all going to explain what Kovalev did in order to make this man call him a racist?
Yeah,
They never went into it. They never said it. They never expounded. So now it's Jean Pascal looking like he the jackass instead of it being Kovalev. And I thought that was extremely biased on his part. I thought that was a bad piece of journalism on my. And I mean, you calling Dan Raphael, I really give him Grand Wizard title though.
Oh no, he's the Grand. I mean, Jim Lampley. You know, they
He's
up
the
there.
Grand Poobah.
Yeah, Jim Lampley and Dan Raphael, Grand Wizards of the decals, no doubt about it, man. We ain't gonna even sugarcoat that one. Matter of fact, to add on to what you just said, Milton. I remember when Freddie Roach, when he was making Mexican racial comments, when he offended
he called them dirty Mexicans.
He called them dirty
Roberto,
Mexicans or something like
Robert
that.
Garcia.
Mexican motherfuckers is what he said, something like that.
Something like that.
And then he offended the Jews when he offended Ellie Setback.
Yeah.
Right. And I made videos talking about how wrong it was and it was offensive. And what was crazy is HBO, they did an interview with Robert Garcia. And they had Robert Garcia apologizing.
What?
They had, because they said, you know, because of Freddie Roach's Parkinson. Yeah, they tried to make it seem like because he made fun of Freddie Roach's Parkinson, you know, before.
That's inexcusable.
And it wasn't even Robert Garcia. It was someone in his circle. Right?
It was Brandon Rios, I think.
Was it Brandon Rios?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, it was Brandon Rios. And that was something that had happened. That happened months before, right? But the point I'm making is, how ridiculous is it? They made Robert Garcia apologize after this man, Freddie Roach, called him something that was extremely racially offensive.
Yeah.
But Robert actually apologized. And the way the interview was conducted, they tried to set it up like it was his fault. Like, you know, like almost coaching Robert Garcia. Well, you can kind of understand, why is it, you guys have made fun of his Parkinson like more than once. Why are you guys doing this? And they said nothing about what this man said about Jews and what this man said about Mexicans.
Wow.
So Grand Wizards, So when you were saying earlier, there's some good things.
I still read Raphael. I've been reading Raphael, man, for, I don't know, man.
Let me say this.
How far back.
Let me say this. Like you said, when you said there's some good to what they do, just like, there's some good with the KKK. They can warm you up when they light up that cross. You know what I'm saying? If you cold, they can help your ass out by warming you up. You stand close to, to that cross. Anyway, let's go ahead and take another call, y'all. Let's get another call. We got a whole bunch of people. I'm not sure if I hung up on this one. 832. Did we talk to you already?
Yeah, man, I'm still here.
Okay, brother. All right. Hold on. Stay right there, man. All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Okay. All right. We got my man 813. What's going on? 813. What's going on, man?
What's good, Dante? This Alex T from Florida.
I'm just
calling in. I wanted to kind of piggyback on some of the things that Andre was talking about. I'm mad that I missed him. I wanted to kind of comment on some of the things that he saw, but a lot of I was just real curious as to why Shakur Stevenson kind of ran away from that Floyd deal, because it seems like, you know, a lot of us out here on YouTube and people that just watch boxing from afar, it did feel like, you know, he was going to go with Floyd and Heyman. But what I'm figuring out is that I don't think a lot of these guys who are going that direction are getting a lot of upfront money as what Bob Arum was going to get, you know, because, you know, I know Shakur Stevenson with Jay Prince and Ward, so I know I know he has a pretty good team just on that. So I'm thinking Arum just really dropped him a money bag.
And, you know, I was thinking the exact same thing too, but, you know, from what I've been reading, Shakur made a statement saying that he was taking less money up front, which means he'd get more money on the back end, and which you have to believe in your talents if you're going to do it that way. And then also that, you know, he was taking less of a signing bonus or less up front, and it was something else less about the money.
Are you talking about the Mayweather deal? Are you talking about that?
No, he was taking less money up front.
No, what I was saying is that with Shakur, you know, maybe Shakur Stevenson seeing some things like how James DeGale was saying, because James DeGale didn't like a lot of Floyd's antics, you know, after the fact, and how he wasn't a traditional promoter after the fight. You know, he was going for his guy. So, you know, maybe some of these guys didn't necessarily like a lot of those antics. You know, and Andre kind of mentioned that. You know what I'm saying? How, you know, Floyd is not really there in certain instances. So I just kind of thought that was real interesting from what Andre said. I thought that was a real key point.
Well, I mean, the main reason why we didn't get that Mayweather signing when it comes to Shakur Stevenson, and, you know, the first thing I want to say before I even, you know, get into that is I really wanted to see Shakur Stevenson sign with Floyd Mayweather. I mean, you got the best fighter of this generation signing, you know, the latest silver medalist representing the United States. The fact that the reason why he didn't sign with him, and this is what Shakur Stevenson said, he said that the guy never sent him any paperwork. He said he never gave him an offer. He didn't send him no paperwork. And from what I hear, you know, it's the Mikey Garcia situation is kind of analogous to that as well, because they said that you know, situation was very similar, where at least that's what Mikey Garcia said. You know, according to him, it was a similar situation. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know why Floyd would do that. To me, it doesn't make any sense. But that, I think
Floyd. I mean, yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a personal thing, you know, because sometimes, you know, you can be friends in other ways, but maybe, you know, like from the business end, maybe, you know, Floyd wasn't, you know, maybe it was just a better fit with Tom Brady. You know, just because he was with Bob, like people hate on Bob, you know, for good reasons, but, you know, Bob knows what he's doing. You know, Bob knows boxing in and out, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, but like I said, him being with Jay Prince, I think that's a good support system, you know what I'm saying? Jay Prince have had Diego Chavez. He was with Floyd a little bit. He's still with Ward. So Jay Prince is integrally involved in boxing. So I think Stevenson probably got the best deal as he could at the time. But I want to kind of transition over to, like, you know what I'm saying, the whole issue, this whole Errol Spence, Kell Brook thing, man. I mean, I'm an American, you know what I'm saying? And I've been talking with these dudes in the chat for the last, like, hour or so, man. But, I mean, as an American, I understand why we want Spence to win. But, yo, I mean, this is Spence's first real challenge. I mean, let's just keep it real. I mean, Brook has already beat Porter, easy work, you know what I'm saying? He put that Vladimir Klitschko on Porter, as I like to say, you know, that jab.
Yeah.
And he bullied him.
Jab, clinch.
And, he put that Vladimir Klitschko on him.
It was.
You know, and that was effective.
It was.
Yeah. So, I mean, so what's your point? Are you saying that you think America...
I was gonna make a point. My point I was trying to make is that he's beaten Porter, and then he went on to, you know what I'm saying, fight the guy who arguably, you know what I'm saying, I'm just put that in quotations, arguably the number one pound for pound in the world, a middleweight at that. You know what I'm saying? And GGG himself, who has a bigger punch than Errol Spence, couldn't even drop Kell Brook. I mean, yeah, he did. He did break the eye socket. I will say that. But even on the scorecards, Kell Brook, according to the official scorecards, he was actually winning the fight.
Yeah,
so
he was winning. Yeah.
I don't see why people can't see why Brook. Like everybody's just saying, like Errol's just gonna like demolish Kell Brook. I just don't understand people's logic.
So you don't believe that Errol Spence will? I mean, so are you picking Kell Brook or what are you saying?
I'm definitely picking Kell Brook. There's no way Errol can win in the UK. I mean, Kell is gonna either win clearly or it's gonna be a draw. He's still gonna keep the goat.
Hey,
if I'm betting money, I'm putting my money on Kell Brook.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And this is why this is a great fight, man. But let me just say this, I really don't think when people are praising a fighter like Errol Spence, I don't think people are doing it just because he's American. I mean, because if you look at his skill recognized skill. You know what I'm saying? There's not how many fighters do you know that has never really stepped up in competition, and professional boxers and trainers of all different races, nationalities are already saying he's the best fighter in the division. How often do you see that? I mean, from Freddie Roach. Go ahead. No,
I'm sorry. Sorry, Dr. No, sorry to cut you up. No, you're absolutely right. I'm not saying only because he is a great talent.
And I can break it down too, but I'm just going. I can break it down too. I was just going off of what other people were saying. But once again, going back to what I was saying earlier, I mean, when you look at the precision, when you look at what he was able to do to Chris Algieri, that a Manny Pacquiao, with all of his experience, he could not do. You would think a fighter who does not have the experience would not be able to dissect and completely break down a fighter with more experience like Chris Algieri the way Errol Spence was able to do. And then once again, you look at Keith Thurman, same situation. Keith Thurman was completely frustrated with Bundu. And after the fight, we interviewed him. He kept talking about, man, the dude is very difficult to fight. He switches back and forth, et cetera, et cetera.
I remember that.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude tried to do the same thing with Errol Spence. You got to look at the skill. People look in too much to, a person's resume or, how much experience he has. I'm going to keep using this example. They did the same thing to Floyd Mayweather when he had 17 fights. When Floyd fought the lineal champion, Janelle Hernandez, they said this man is crazy. Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant, they were shitting all over Team Mayweather, because they were saying these guys are arrogant as hell to think they can go in there and fight this man with all this experience, and he only has 17 fights. And this is a lineal top 10 pound-for-pound fighter at the time. He was the best fighter at 130 at the time. So, we always see this transition where fighters go from not fighting anyone to jumping up in competition. And it makes or it breaks a fighter. We seen it with Gervonta Tank Davis a couple weeks ago. He had never fought that level of competition. So we find out more about them, and we're going to find out a lot more about Errol Spence when it comes to this fight in May. And I truly believe that Errol Spence, despite not having the experience and all of that stuff, I still see Errol Spence stopping Kell Brook, man.
I see him stopping him.
Listen, Dante, you've made a lot of great points. Like you mentioned, like a fighter coming up, like it just came out of nowhere, and then he destroyed a fighter that we thought that he couldn't win. But I think you paralleling him to Floyd is the worst one, because let's be honest, Floyd should have been a gold medalist. Yeah. Errol Spence is not that caliber of fighter coming out of the Olympics, and that's just a fact. So I don't think no one at that same, because Errol at this point, Errol's 27 at this point. I mean, Floyd, I think he was already a champion. Like what was it, 2021? So I wouldn't even. We can use a lot of. Hold on. We could use a lot of different examples. It doesn't have to just be Mayweather. I mean, I could go all the way back to Eric Morales versus Daniel Zaragoza. I remember when Eric Morales, he was a young pup.
in the game, and they were saying, Daniel Zaragoza, I believe it was Zaragoza, he was at the time, he was on top, and he was the veteran, the older lion, long in the tooth. But a lot of people, they were saying that Eric Morales, he didn't have the experience. This is a transition that every fighter makes, going from prospect, to contender, to pound for pound fighter. This is, they always make this step up in competition. You have to jump up in competition eventually. And, once again, some people are successful and other people's are unsuccessful when they try to step up in competition. But once again, dude, there's nothing wrong with picking Kell Brook. I respect anyone picking Kell Brook. This is a 50-50 fight. So it's not like, people picking Jeff Horn over Manny Pacquiao or something like that, But then again, I can't even talk on that because I don't know nothing about Jeff Horn. But go ahead.
Yeah, in fairness to you, I think by you saying that it's a 50-50 fight, I think that's probably the fairest commentary that I've heard so far on it, because not everybody is 50-50. A lot of people I've talked to, like a lot of people over here in the States that I've talked to, like it's just like Errol, and I get it because he's a talented kid. You know what I'm saying? He waved the red, white, and blue and all of that. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? And he has the skills. I get that. But I just feel like a lot of people, because they've been kind of like, you're seeing that so much of kind of having given Brook, fair due. But just to kind of pick your brain on too. How do you, because you said obviously you have Errol, so how do you see Errol winning that fight? Because I actually missed that, how you said you think he's going to win it.
I see Errol Spence walking down Kell Brook. I see Errol Spence eventually forcing Kell Brook to the ropes, to where Kell Brook, he's going to try to move around the ring, but eventually, because Errol Spence is so great at cutting off the ring, coming forward, and he applies intelligent pressure, not just wild and just throwing punches like some fighters who Kell Brook faced before. Intelligent aggression. I just think, he's going to close the gap, and he's going to break him down with body shots. I think Kell Brook, his main strategy is like, I think you said, or the last caller, he's going to try to go in there Klitschko style. He's going to try to jab.
Not going to work.
Yeah, he's going to try to jab and grab. It's
work.
not going to work against Errol Spence.
Nope.
Errol Spence will not allow you to nullify his attack by tying him up.
Too big.
I mean, the southpaw style. The man can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside. And he's great at adjusting. He's very great at adjusting. This is not a knock on Kell Brook. This is not a knock on Keith Thurman, on Danny Garcia, or any of the other welterweights. Errol Spence is on a different level, and this is what I say. If people were talking about Floyd Mayweather or Roy Jones, or what, any type of prospect 7 fights in, this is how you really can tell how good a fighter is. If you can tell way before they accomplish anything, that's how you can spot talent, right? So, when we hear people say stuff like, well, Errol Spence, he ain't did nothing yet. No, we're supposed to be able to pick this out before they do it.
Yes.
Right? Because what's the good of saying who's going to win the Super Bowl after they already win the Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying? So, with that all being said, I truly believe if I'm going to put my money on any horse to go the furthest when it comes to prospects and contenders, undefeated contenders, it's Errol Spence, man. So that's how I see it.
And I definitely see you on that. But just to trying to transition to one last point that I had. I didn't catch the first part of the broadcast.
And we wrapping it up, man. So try to get it in, my brother.
Let me just make this last point. So, but I didn't catch you. I didn't hear you talk about when Andre was on, man. How did you guys let him off without pressing him on the Lara situation? Like, what's up with that?
The Lara situation? Well, no, he touched on the Lara. He said that he thinks
he's gonna fight Lara next.
He said he thinks that Lara. He said
so he is trying to get the Lara fight.
Yeah, he said he thinks that Lara. Yeah, he said he thinks that Lara is the only one that will fight him. He said he thinks that that's the only guy that will fight him for sure. So it sounds to me.
Al's not giving up the Charlos. He's not doing that. No way.
Well, I necessarily agree with that. When people, blame it on Al, I think these fighters themselves, man. Al Heyman, he don't really care. Look, think about this for a second. If you pay attention to Al Heyman, some of his fighters that he signed, some of their first fights was against tough opponents. Let me give you a perfect example. When he signed Miguel Vasquez, he threw him in there with Mickey Bay. Mickey Bay beat him. When he signed Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he threw him in there with Fanfara at a higher weight class.
Yeah.
Fanfara beat him. He threw Leo Santa Cruz in there with Frampton. Frampton beat him. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the point that I'm making is I don't think Al Heyman is sitting over here like, oh, I got to keep these guys winning, because Al Heyman is different than other promoters. Al Heyman, he tells these guys, this is why we get so many great fights with PBC, because I truly believe even when fighters don't want to fight a certain fighter, like Broner wasn't jumping up to fight Porter. And Thurman, wasn't jumping up and down. I'm not saying he was ducking, but he wasn't jumping up and down to fight Porter either. But see, what Al Heyman does, and this is what I believe he does, he tells them, hey, man, don't worry about losing. We're going to bring you back, so don't worry about losing.
Right.
You ain't going to go all the way back to the end of the line. That's what happened with Broner. Broner's a perfect example. Broner lost to Porter, came back, made $1 million against Aliverdev, right? So it's more like a NFL, NBA league with Al Heyman, where you lose this week, it's okay. You come back the next week like nothing ever happened.
Right.
That's how it is. So that's why Al Heyman really has nothing to gain by trying to, keep these guys away. And I'm not even going to say Charlos, are afraid of Andrade. I want to look more into it before I start elaborating on that. But I'm just saying I wouldn't blame it on Al Heyman. I think it has something to do.
No. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. And I'm gonna hang up after this. But only thing about you, all the fighters that you mentioned, and I 100% agree. Al matching them up very tough. But the only difference is with Boo Boo and those other guys that you mentioned is Boo Boo is with Rock Nation, and all those other guys were Al Heyman guys. I'll hang up and I'll listen. Good night.
Hey, take care, man. I appreciate it, man.
The call.
Yeah, and I don't
know.
With
Rock Nation?
That's what I was just about to ask. I don't think he's with Rock Nation. Kirk.
No, he's not with them.
He's free.
Who is he? Who is he with? I don't know who he's with.
Yeah.
I don't know who he's with.
Yeah,
but anyway, is he with Lou DiBella? Is he with Lou DiBella? I think he might be.
Yeah, probably.
He might be with Lou DiBella.
I don't know. I have to look it up.
We have to
look it up.
We have to ask D on.
And another thing too, though, the Charlo, and just like you were just saying, Jamel is the mandatory. Whoever wins out of Lubin and Cotto, that's they're the mandatory for Jamel Charlo.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Before we go, man, because we gonna wrap it up in a little bit. You got to talk about the fights this past weekend.
Oh,
man.
yeah, Bunny Easter and
and
Riche Warren.
So start with Rashid Warren.
I
missed the fights. That's why I didn't make videos on them. But
Rashid. Hey man, let me tell you, the kid lost, but I think he'll be back. But this was a very tough fight for him. He started out. I thought he was going to blow this guy out. He dropped him twice in the first round. But the guy got back up, and I will tell you, man, this guy, Zhikayanov, I believe is how you pronounce his name, from Kazakhstan. Another cat from
Kazakhstan. Yeah, he fought his ass off after he got knocked down, right?
He got up, man.
I did see the first round, by the way, when he knocked him down.
He put pressure on Warren for the rest of the fight, put him up against the ropes, banged him hard. I think he broke his nose. Bloodied him up pretty bad, bloodied his nose pretty bad. Actually, I think it was a knockdown in the third. He dropped Warren in the third, but the ref didn't call it.
Yeah.
Because he was going down, my man kind of threw his arm a little bit.
With two overhand rights, right? Yeah.
And he stumbled, but my man kind of pushed him a little bit, and the ref waved it off.
Yeah.
But it was an actual knockdown, man. And in that ninth round, he battered him pretty bad. But I will say this, man. The Warren been to the Olympics 3 times. The cat has no quit in him. He went to the Olympics. He was not going to be deterred. He kept trying to go back. Even in his first title fight, he didn't win. He came back again and won his title. Had just gotten his titles, and then, man, I just think that fighting at home was too much for him. I don't know. I don't know.
And
I don't know.
And I'll tell you, first of all, Rashid Warren, he's one of my favorite fighters. A long time ago, I did like a pick of 5 fighters, like betting on horses who I thought would go the furthest in the sport when they were like young pups.
Yeah.
And Rashid Warren was one of the fighters that I thought would go the furthest, along with some other fighters that I picked. But this just goes to show you, when you hear certain fans say, oh, well, Golovkin, or this fighter, has 400 amateur fights, how would you think, how you think that they're going to lose against this guy or this type of guy, or why wouldn't you think they wouldn't be able to do this, or adjust this way or that way? Rashid Warren, as much as I like him, he just goes to show you that the amateurs and the pros are two different sports,
totally
man.
Different sport.
You got a man who went to the Olympics 3 times.
Please understand that.
Broner couldn't even qualify to go to the Olympics, and Broner has been more successful as a pro. And Broner always talk about how Rashid used to beat the hell out of him, when they were kids, coming up.
Right.
But Broner was able, to adjust, or become more acclimated to the pro rankings than Rashid Warren. For whatever reason, I hope Rashid gets it together. And something else is weird is I noticed even in the in the World Boxing Series, he was a beast.
Yeah,
Rashid Warren was a beast.
He was.
And he was able to fight, and he was able to fight close.
Yeah.
Like in this fight, because I did catch like 3 rounds on YouTube the other day, but you could see the pressure was getting to him.
Right.
And I remember you said maybe it was because that nose was bothering him or something like that.
I think the nose was bothering him. It's a couple things. I think he gassed himself in the first. I think he gassed himself. I think he hyped himself up. If you can't settle in a fight, if you get too amped up, it drains you. And I think that the atmosphere, the crowd, I think it was a little bit too much for him. I think it was just a little bit.
But he could not deal with that pressure.
He couldn't deal with that pressure.
And like
man.
I said, when I used to watch him in the World Boxing Series, when pressure fighters would jump on him, he would stand right there and eat him up.
Right.
He would like Floyd style. Floyd loved dudes is just pressuring him, especially the younger Floyd, and even Javante, even better example, because the dude, because Jose Pedraza
and I
was
wanna say
pressuring
this,
the hell out of Davis.
Before I transition or I hand it off to someone else, I want to say I don't want to take anything away from Jakaya. No.
Okay.
The guy won that fight. He dug down deep. He did what he had to do. He made it ugly. He wasn't going to outbox him. You know what I mean? So he had to do what he had to do, and he pulled off a terrific win. So hats off to him. I give him all the credit in the world.
Absolutely. And Kirk Jackson, I want to ask both you and AK, does Robert Easter's performance over Cruz, does it change your opinion at all on how good of a fighter you think he is, and comparing him to other champions at the lightweight division like Mikey Garcia, Flanagan, and my boy Jorge Linares.
Yeah.
Kirk, let's start with you.
I hold Robert Easter highly. I think he's really talented, really skilled. He uses his length really well. He actually uses his length, and he can keep you on the outside with his jab. He can set you up for powerful shots, but he can also fight on the inside. So I definitely think he's talented, and he's a problem for anybody in nearby his weight class or in that weight class. I still would not match him up against Mikey Garcia yet. I'd like to see him get some more experience. But I do like how, with his talent and how bold he is, he's calling guys out. He said Mikey Garcia is on his hit list. So I definitely respect that, and I think we need to see more of that. So it'll be interesting to see him go forward, and I will definitely be watching him and supporting him, because he is a young black man. So I definitely want to see him keep doing well. And he's a talented fighter, no doubt.
He's definitely a talented fighter. And, yeah, I just go ahead, AK.
Yeah, well, I didn't really catch the fight. I only saw the highlights, so I can't. You always see the good in that, but not the mistakes. So I can't tell. So I didn't watch the fight, but from the highlights, he did well. He looked like he knocked his opponent down a couple times.
3 times.
And he got the victory. But I would love to see that fight still, though. I still favor him
As a disclaimer, that the fights were on Bounce TV.
Bounce TV.
Which is kind of hard to come by. I don't know a lot of people that get Bounce.
Yeah.
You know, I had to resort to some things.
Yeah.
And to pick it up. But I was able to check him out, and I will say Robert Easter looked really good. But I wish he would have put his foot on the gas at around 6 or 7 and taken the guy on out of there. But hey, it was what it was. He dropped him in the 10th, 11th, and 12th. But all that being said, and as good as he looked, maybe Linares, maybe Flanagan. I don't think he's ready for Mikey quite yet.
I think he's ready for him, man. I'm in the minority when it comes to that, but I think he's definitely ready.
That's about 4 or 5 fights away from me.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's a good fight, and that's why we do the boxing talk. You know, that just lets you know how competitive that fight will be. So, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I want to say, as always, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Big shout out to my special guest today.
Oh yeah,
the real junior middleweight champion of the world, Boo Boo Demetrius Andrade, and Sweet Hands, one of the best prospects. Y'all gonna be hearing a lot about my man. Shouts out to him. He came to the studio, showed love. My man Caleb Plant, man. And I want to go ahead and let you guys know about the Box Fan Expo, man. It's coming May 6th. All the boxers are going to be there signing autographs, taking pictures. Your boy Dante's Boxing Nation is going to be there. Milton, you probably going to be there too, man.
Most definitely.
We gonna be out there hanging out with the fans, man. I'm also going to have a little booth set up. We're going to have the DBN models. So come over, take pictures with the models. Come pick up some of them Fresh Fly DBN shirts. You know we're going to have the DBN shirts on deck. We're going to have the hats on deck. So it's going to be a fun event, man. It's the weekend of Chavez, or I should say Canelo versus Chavez. Right. So you getting everything all in one weekend, all right? So you guys come out here and show some love and check out the Box Fan Expo, all right? So I'm signing out. That's pretty much all I got. We'll see you guys next week. I'll be out there in Ohio. I'm flying out to Ohio tomorrow to cover the Broner versus Granados fight. And so hopefully I'll be back.
Hey,
next
we didn't get
Monday.
into that one. It fights at 147,
Well, right.
not 142 no more.
That's right.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about that.
Right.
Hold on, real quick. We got some bonus footage right
bonus
now.
Footage.
We're gonna give y'all some bonus
Had to
footage.
throw it in there.
Yeah, we really do have to talk about that. So I mean, real quick. You know, we're gonna turn off the curtain music. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, I think this fight right here, it brings out the best of Adrian Broner. I think that Adrian Broner has been looking better since he lost to Porter. I believe the fight against, what's his name? Ashley Theophane. Because Theophane has, a irky-jerky style, and
people slept on Theophane. Let me tell you, the man gave Danny Garcia a hard, tough fight. That was a hard fight for Danny. People are so quick to call somebody a bum or somebody that a fighter that's not good, but that was a damn good fight. That was a damn good win on Broner's part.
Yeah, absolutely. So quick predictions then. You know what? Since let's go ahead and pick some rounds, man. So I'm saying Broner, man. 8th round, man. You know what? Give me a couple rounds. Broner 8 to 10, man.
I'm going Broner 6 to 8.
Kurt?
I'm going to go with an upset. Granados.
All right. Okay. It's getting interesting.
I won't say you. I can't say you're wrong, but.
Hey. Are you serious, right? Just make sure there's no sarcasm. Okay.
Same way he slept on his mom.
Yeah. No.
Mom slept on him.
I ain't playing.
Oh,
I ain't playing.
And it's that type.
Adrian.
It's that type of fight, though. It's that type of fight. Adrian Granados is extremely hungry. I mean, and when you hear what he's saying in his interviews, like, man, this fight right here is going to change my life. It's like the Cinderella Man movie. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, you get one big win, and you're like, man, if I just get this one more big win.
You know what? Let me know how hungry this guy was. They only gave him just a few weeks ago. Saying, hey, we're going from that 142 to 147 limit.
Yeah.
And this cat was like, hey, it was take it or leave it. He's like, well, of course, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up this opportunity. And I just remembered a couple of weeks ago, somebody just was like, it was 1 pound. The fight was coming in, and the fighter weighed in 1.6 pounds over, and the other guy refused to fight. And they said, hey, the dude told him, I'll give you my full purse. The guy that came in overweight said, hey, man, I'll give you my full purse. I'll give you my half. Wait,
what fight was this again?
God, man.
You don't remember either one of the fighters? I don't remember that.
They're young and up and coming.
He said he'll give him his whole purse?
Yeah.
If what?
If he would just go with the fight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the dude was like,
that's
nah,
a story
they'll pass. He said he'll pass.
That's a story within itself right there.
I'll research it. I'll find that fight for you.
Hey, okay. Well, AK, man, how does it go down, man? And don't tell me Jeff Horn going to jump in the ring and win.
I mean, I got AD because I think the weight advantage is going to help him. I mean, I think you could.
That's why I'm going with him.
It's just the fact that he was eating tacos the other night. You know, when he went to the fight, he stayed eating tacos at fights, and that's probably why he can't make weight.
Yeah.
But and that's a huge disadvantage for his opponent. I feel like, you know, at 147 he feels better, but I think he could make 140. But I think he probably wins by stoppage in a tough fight early on, though. I think he probably hurt him later on and gets him out of there in the ninth round.
Yeah, there it is. Once again, this is a very, very competitive fight. Amir Imam, the win that Granados had over Amir Imam, that was a very impressive performance. So that's why this was a perfect opponent for Broner, man, because you know sometimes Broner, he like to take minutes off of rounds and stuff. He won't be able to do that in this fight.
No, he won't.
So that's why I really like this fight, and that's why I cannot see this fight going 12 rounds. This fight, somebody's going to really get hurt bad in this fight, man. So, you know, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for real this time, man. So once again, hopefully I make it back from Ohio in time, and we'll be doing the show next Monday. You know, thank you guys for all tuning in. We'll see you next week. On to the next one. It's the Nation, baby.
Peace.